your radio. Whoa. 13 inches on your stereo, yeah. Mutabaruka leads the way, so just you let the station play, yeah. Say your teachings got to hold on me, yeah. Well, this is Kemetic and listening to, Mutabaruka. Great.FM, cutting edge. Whoop.
Thought-provoking, always smoking, lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to Mutabaruka.
Yes, good night. This is the cutting edge on RFM in a different location for the first time. We're in a Portland. You know them say rainy nights are always in Portland. We're in a very unique place. We always call this place a little piece of Africa in Jamaica, the way it's set up. And we're going to be here till 2 o'clock. Yes. You know, so we start with this tune because the Jolly Boys, and we're in the Jolly Boys area. And we know that we have a person, we have one of the elders of the Jolly Boys group, Powder, otherwise known as Joseph Bennett. We want to pay condolence to Powder. 70-year-old that tour the world. Trust me, man. I tell you, it's not easy. So in pass way, and we feel it because I know say years we have played Jolly Boys for RFM, long before them boss. Big time. Remember years ago, me and them buck up in England for a festival named Walmart Festival. Me I tell you, the man them sit down on the stage there with them rumba box and them banjo and tear down the place. And now we see them gone bigger. Them tour with all Sade and all these places all over the world. So we want to yell up the Jolly Boys, and we know that them are going to continue the journey, the music journey. So this is Portland. This is Great Huts. We're in a Great Huts. This is as we are saying, it's a unique place. Unique place. It's not the typical hotel where you find all over the place. And if it was a typical hotel, we wouldn't there. You understand? I would go a typical place. It's a unique place. And we don't know. Because most Jamaican people can't take them kind of way either. So we are talking to the foreigner them right now. This is a place where you have to come to if you're there at Jamaica. You understand? Appear, them not have no door upon them place, man. Your room don't have no door. You understand? And you overlook the sea, Caribbean Sea. It don't have no door. And a pure bamboo and whole wood and stone and all that something there. It's sweet. Motifs as you come in at the place. It's wonderful, wonderful. We love it. We love it because it's unique. We love it because it's rustic. We love it because it looks different, totally different from any, except the place where we have done St. Elizabeth. Stephanie Black sit up over there, so this. Stephanie Black knows say, my place can't compare to this place at any time. But this place is very unique, and if you have an opportunity and a chance, and you pass through, especially those people who love them jerk, Boston jerk pork, you can stop on here so and check it out. You understand? And this weekend here is a very special weekend up here, Great Huts. Them having one whole week of pure cinemas, pure movies. And we're going to tell you about it. We're going to talk to the owner, man. Believe you me, I believe him. We're here who own this place. Come here to go find out how a man like him come clear Jamaica, come own a place like this. Because we know say no Jamaican nah go do this. Believe you me. Right, Stephanie? No Jamaican nah go build up like this. No, sir. Eh? Yeah, Rasta will do it. Rasta. And if Rasta do it, nobody nah come here do it. But it's sweet. So we continue the journey, as we are saying. We're there. Continue. Yes. Fitting tribute to Jamaica. One of the most beautiful places on earth, barring none. It's just the politician them make the thing kind of sound and get funny. If we could have just get rid of the politician them, Jamaica that's sweet. But you don't know it go. We can't get rid of the politicians them, so we have to figure out a way how to make it sweet with them. Yes. Maybe we should have get some Santa Maria ship and send them to Spain. So we're going to come forward, take a break and come forward. See you the time.
Reggae Radio, Irie FM.
In the air, continent, the edge, continent, with Mutabaruka, we are listening to all of it. My Jamaican, Irie.
Yeah, coming to you live from Great Huts Portland. The cutting edge. Outdoors for the first time. This is what you call a maiden voyage.
My Jamaican girl.
Yes, today a Great Huts. Kian producer, Ricky outside engineer. We love where go on, you know, because we just get warm up here, so. You know, say, we're going to do an interview here, so believe you me, no, because I'm really interested to find out the genesis of this place here. Because, as me I said, this place here is the most unique place in a Jamaica when it come on to, I don't even want to call it no hotel, you know, it pass all hotel, you know. Give me a microphone, give me a microphone. And this microphone I ever use? All right. No, this, you sure? All right. We have to get used to this. And my microphone you're going to use, you know. All right, even me I said, oh, Bridget, trust me. Me not one of them man will know how protocol go for interview, so we don't start normal. You understand? So we have to work without me talk. All right. Me know you used to it because you have a place like this, you couldn't no used to talking like me. I mean, if your man set up this place. But you know, me want to ask you, believe you me, no, because it interests me. Which part do I come from?
Which land do I come from?
Yeah, which country you come from?
I'm from a country that is far off. It's hard to find. It's in a distant land.
You still not tell me which country you come from, you know?
Come on,
tell me.
I'm afraid, it's called Brooklyn. That's
Brooklyn. Okay. Okay. You know, say you have a Kingston in a New York.
Yes, a Flatbush.
And you have a Jamaica in a New York too.
Absolutely.
So Brooklyn no far. That's what I say. All right.
That's why I'm making a little joke.
All right. So which part of Brooklyn you come from? Because you know you have Brooklyn and you have Brooklyn. Now you don't come from the part of the Jamaican them.
Well,
so which part?
I am actually from the Jamaican part of Brooklyn.
Yeah?
Flatbush.
Over the other side of the road. Because you have two sides of Flatbush, you know.
Yeah.
You have where the Jew them live over that side, and you have where the whole Jamaica, the whole Trinidad, them live over that side. I mean, no side over that side you come from.
To be Jew, and I think that I'm black, at least in an early slight.
Hold on there. You think he's Jew and you think he's black?
Yeah, absolutely.
Explain that to me.
Well, I am a Jew, and my sensibilities are with and for all peoples, and certainly the African people.
All right. How long you live at Jamaica?
You know, I'm actually not living here.
You don't live here?
I have lived here for 6 years, but I am now back, in the States where I work full time as a doctor.
Oh, you're a doctor.
I am, and I visit Jamaica perhaps 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there. All told, about 2 months a year now. Okay. Too short, but I have work that I must take care of in the States.
All right, this place now, is you conceive the idea for the place, or you didn't know a Jamaican lady who tell you to work with?
I have known some Jamaican ladies, but
Jamaican girl.
But they did not inspire this place.
All right, tell me who inspired you.
Okay, I've been coming to Jamaica since 1973. Mm-hmm. In fact, it was my Jamaican landlord, Edgar Gentles of Flatbush, who told me about his brother, also a Gentles, who owned a hotel in Ocho Rios, and I came here during my third year of medical school for a magnificent vacation. And on the beach of Doctor's Cave in Montego Bay, I met medical students who were doing an elective, and I said, well, I'd like to do that elective too. And the fourth year of medical school, I went to medical school in Brooklyn, SUNY Downstate, and I took 2 months and worked as in a public health project in Hanover in 1974, and that was the seed, because I began to visit, and then when I had made something of myself and I was a doctor of geriatrics, I offered my help to an infirmary in Jamaica, initially the Hanover Infirmary and then other infirmaries, and increasingly I found that I was visiting Jamaica more and more, taking time off from my medical practice because I was feeling more needed here than I was in suburban Maryland.
All right. So, I still at about the conception of the place. Is it because you never have no money like Bush Stewart, or you just find yourself with somebody? That's why you build a place like this? Because really actually Bush Stewart build not like this, you know. I understand him cater for different things. So we really want to find out the conception of it. Like, how did a man from Brooklyn, a Jew from Brooklyn, decide say he will capture some land up here? Capture. No. All right. How did a Jew from Brooklyn find himself in a Portland on the edge of some rock and build a place like this? And that me really want to find out, because it fascinates me. It fascinates me.
You know, it fascinates me as well. And life is a continuous series of decisions, and the decisions are based upon feeling and judgment. I would say that as a white man from Brooklyn, I felt as such a tiny minority, and I was so aware of the African origins of the Jamaican people, 95% African origin, and in Portland probably more, closer to 100%. And I was stunned that there was so little of Africa, despite its greatness, of its civilizations, its history, its gifts to the European world, its influence of the philosophy of Greece, and on and on and on, that there was so little celebration of and homage to black.
In Jamaica.
In Jamaica.
Yes.
All the resorts seemed so white.
Yes.
They seemed to be out of step with the reality.
Okay.
And I am also not a terribly competitive person, although people will say when they look at some of the things I've accomplished, well, I must be aggressive, I must have fought to get certain things. My basic psychology is that I avoid competition.
Okay.
And I didn't want to develop something that already was. There's no shortage of villas.
Yes.
And I felt that it was important to show the strength, the beauty, the history of the people Africa. And this particular piece of land, which was just jungle that had never been built on, I felt said, put huts here. And just as there is the term the Great House, which is not great because the Great House was the home of the master who enslaved people. There were counting chambers, rooms for the money. There might have been a torture chamber or a prison under the Great House, as there was in Good Hope and probably in Rose Hall. Why not celebrate the Great Hut? And that huts can actually be quite glorious. We have an extensive African library here, which show many royal huts. I'll also say this, that as a Jew, and as one who's very sensitive to the horrors that have affected the Jewish people, the Jewish Holocaust, I believe that sensitized me to the reality of the African Holocaust, which affected far and killed far more souls than the Jewish Holocaust. And I thought it was important here to show a memorial to those who perished in the Middle Passage, to have our own emancipation statue. I was fortunate in my many years of Jamaica to meet wonderful artists. I am a very artistic person, and I met Kingsley Thomas, who's an intuitive artist. I had a good friendship with Gene Pearson and Nikazi, who make these remarkable masks, which celebrate the beauty of the African face.
Well, I tell you something now. Believe you me, and this will come from my heart. Trust me. You see that place here? Love it.
Thank you.
And my lady, love it.
Thank you.
Trust me. And as me I say, it really blow a consciousness for know say this is Jamaica. I mean, know say Jamaican people nah go love it. Because Jamaican people nah go come here, so and when them go there, so where the toilet there? And them to the toilet, oh, this parade I go fall. Because them now go, they must say where the door there. First of all, the door or the panel of them place, and that is that make it even more unique. That not door or the panel of the place them. You understand? And everything lead to a next place in the same place, and in the right pan the rock. So, which why you buy this land? Tell me, how you get the land?
I began visiting Port Antonio quite regularly when I was doing charity work for the infirmaries in the 1990s. And I was at the Jerk Center and walked down this road and saw a parcel that had been blocked off with barbed wire. I crawled through and saw the most magnificent land.
Crawled through the barbed wire?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I did like a limbo rock.
You know, sir, if we didn't see what I shoot you, because
I was much thinner. I was much thinner.
You're not trespass on the land. You're not trespass on the land.
Yeah, but there was no one to arrest me, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, so I came on this land and walked to the cliff, and then walked down steps to the beach. At that time, the beach was, very messy. People were cleaning the pigs there. It was very smelly. There wasn't as much of a beach. It was very narrow, and I just felt, wow, one day I really would love to have this land. A couple of years later, when I began to stay regularly at the Jamaica Palace for these annual workshops for the care of the elderly, I met Miss Fahmy, of blessed memory. She was a wonderful woman. She built the castle. She built the shopping center. She built the Jamaica Palace. Really an underappreciated creative force in Jamaica, and a very dear woman. God bless her. She passed away a few years ago. She had bought all this land and had thought that it would become villas.
Okay.
But I think that because it was close to the Jerk Center, and it wasn't high up on a hill where a lot of rich people were living, other rich people didn't want to have it. So the only lot, as I understand it, that she sold to make a villa was the one next door to another Jew.
He's a true Jew. He's a true Jew, because a Jew think, Marcus Garvey tells us about think like a Jew, because you look for a place up there, so when nobody wouldn't even come down here, so because really and truly, if a man tell me that down here, so my hotel there, if me that think certain way, me I tell him say, oh, the hell a man could have booked me down there, so when me say I'll jerk pork up this one and all them something there, but you look on the forbidden track and you come on the forbidden track and now develop a place like this. You're a Jew for true, trust me. This is the Cutting Edge at IRF every day with you. So we got to Studio Man, give some money breaker.
REFM, always smoking. Lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to Mutabaruka.
Yeah, this is the outside broadcast, Cutting Edge, right here in Great Huts Resort. And we're talking to the owner man here, Dr. Paul Rhodes. You related to Cecil Rhodes?
No, fortunately, not at all.
No. Where you get the name Rhodes?
Jews often have their names changed, sometimes even at the border crossing when you're coming into New York. The family name was Reisen, which I think in German means traveler. And then in the United States it was changed to Rosenberg. And then during the Second World War, some of the relatives changed it to Rhodes. We were in the United States. We were not threatened by the horrors of the Holocaust in the immediate family. We had family in Europe that perished. But I think that my father, who was a rather assimilated Jew, wanted his name to sound more American, so he changed it to Rhodes.
All right. You get assimilated into the Jamaican culture, you get assimilated into the African culture. You build a place in Jamaica and it look very African. Why a man like you take up this Africanness in yourself?
I can't fully answer that myself, except to say that I feel a passion to create and to show and share the beauty of intuitive arts and of the Jamaican people. That there was enough of the villa and the palaces and the hotels. I certainly did not imagine myself building a sandals type establishment. I think that there is a place for that, and it gives a lot of people pleasure. I'm but one small man, and this was my vision. Again, I believe that my minority, my being a minority, and my awareness of the Jewish Holocaust sensitized me to the African Holocaust.
All right. Would you duplicate this place somewhere else in Jamaica? Have like a...
I'd rather not. I'm approaching a big birthday.
You get old, you mean?
I'm getting to be an old man. Yeah. Thank God I'm healthy. But no, I think that if I can still get a good 10 years out of my medical practice, I do geriatric house calls. If I can enhance the volume at Great Huts, this is all about numbers. It costs us about $1,300 a day just to open the gates, U.S. Right. So if you don't have a certain number of guests, it's all lost.
How much?
We have 17 huts, and we can accommodate up to 35 to 40 people.
So some of the huts is...
Well, the Queen of Sheba is a palatial hut, and it can sleep up to 8 people. It's ideal for a family.
Right. All right. The place that I stay, which I love, is the grape.
The sea grape.
The sea grape. It's a very unique one to me personally, because you come out into the sea.
Well, we
full of grape around it. The sea grape there.
Yeah. We called it the sea grape because it's surrounded by sea grape trees. One of the lessons of running a resort is that if you try to mess too much with Mother Nature, it'll just take away your money. The kinds of trees that grow in this very salty environment are the sea grape, so that they do great, and the noni. But after the sea frost, the noni leaves will die off. It will come back. But certainly, what flourishes here are the sea grape. Yeah. So this is nestled between mature sea grape trees, because we really don't cut any trees at Great Huts. We don't bulldoze rocks, and we don't cut away the trees.
That's why I just tell you that you come down to Treasure Beach and see where we have, because we didn't cut no rocks neither. We just build all trees are growing at the house. It's a very unique thing.
I am honored that you enjoy Great Huts, that you stay at the Sea Grape, and I am grateful truly for your invitation to visit you and your dear wife in Treasure Beach. I will certainly take you up on that. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So, who conceptualized this cinema paradise? I don't think I owe to this though.
I thought that Great Huts. Sometimes you just start with words, and then you have to fulfill the words. So, for example, if you're making a commitment to someone that I will provide you with excellent service, that's a statement. But the next thing is to actually follow it up in deed. So, when we established Great Huts, we did have as part of our mission that it would be not only a resort and not only a wellspring for donations and volunteers for the homeless shelter, which I have the honor of co-founding and serving as the medical director, but that it would also be a school to celebrate Jamaican culture and to share the true Jamaican experience. And we have 5 such cultural programs. One is called Jamaican Arts Odyssey. These have all been in progress for a number of years in varying degrees of success. The Jamaican Arts Odyssey is both an interactive workshop where artists from abroad come to Jamaica, black artists come to Jamaica and create under a group leader such as Nakazi or Mazola Mwashkati. This year we had Mazola is a dear friend. Mazola was actually a resident artist at Great Huts for a number of years, and we have scores of his pieces. He's a brilliant man, and you don't have to talk when you're with Mazola. You just sit down and just listen to him, because he just has this way of creating a sense of peace. So with the stimulus of these great Jamaican artists, and also an artist by the name of Pancho Brown from Baltimore, who is an advocate of young black artists throughout the United States, we had a wonderful interactive workshop right here. And then we also visit studios and galleries. We had the chance to go to Gene Pearson's gallery at a time, amazing, and to see his pieces in the furnace, a glow orange, and then he takes them out with a giant prong and he puts them on the sawdust and they go into a fire. Okay, so you want me to get to that one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I just love all of our artists. So the Cinema Paradise is one of 5 or 6 of the cultural programs. I love cinema. So in the United States, I like going to small independent theaters like Landmark, and movies that I love I might see 3, 4, 5 times. And so I always look for nuance. Someone once told me that if I'm seeing a movie 3 or 4 times, I must be really stupid or really smart. So I'll leave that up to you. But when you see a film many times and you study it, you see all the nuance. And it's also like listening to a song that you love or a poem over and over. It touches you. It's familiar. It's comfortable. So I have seen a number of Jamaican films. I loved Better Must Come. I had the chance of getting to know Storm when he came to Washington.
He'll be here tomorrow.
I think he's here on Saturday.
Okay, I'll be here Saturday.
Yes, I'm so glad. And so I had a chance to know some of the great, producers, such as Stephanie Black and Storm.
Right, already.
Right.
Have you ever seen Sankofa?
I have seen Sankofa, and as a matter of fact, I live just a few blocks away from Sankofa Bookstore near Howard, and had a chance to meet Haile.
I think that he didn't bring Haile Girma today.
I don't think the travel time was convenient for him, and he's doing a film, but certainly for future.
Next time.
So again, to share Jamaican film with Great Huts guests and the public for free, to bring them. That's a part of the mission of Great Huts. It's not just to be a place to vacation and have fun and rum and sand. Any hotel can do that. We really have a mission. Right. Thank you. But to share the beauty of the Jamaican people and their culture, their strength.
Well, brethren, give thanks. As we say, we can't. We hope you can really. We hope you're progressing at this, and we hope that some Jamaican people who pass here can come down here and really take a stock of what is happening here, because I tell you, I find it very interesting, and I don't know if it's because I am very African-centered, but anytime I see things like this, it really amazes me, especially in Jamaica. So we say give thanks.
Thank you.
Give thanks, and we're looking forward to the whole weekend and things for see all these beautiful movies. Dr. Paul Rhodes, owner and designer of Great Huts. Yes, wonderful place. Okay, so we continue the journey, as we say, because this is a journey we journey comes here. How far we come from, so I tell you, Kiana say, boy, it's far. And the foot can't reach left watch, she don't know no else. When she talk about far, she don't know nothing. She a older student. Tell me how older student. Brian, keep yourself quiet, man. Believe you me, keep yourself quiet. Don't deal with it. Yes, this is the Cutting Edge Outside Broadcast, live from Great Huts. First time out. So, we have a man here so now we're going to talk to Paul Williams, Cultural Liaison Officer of Great. What a whole heap of things is Cultural Liaison Officer. Alright. Man, sit up in the ear, Papi, and so no, come up closer, Bridget. Don't make you feel like we don't like.
Relax, man.
Speaking, all right. Paul Williams.
Paul H. Williams.
All right. What the H stand for?
Henry.
Paul Henry Williams.
But I always use Paul H. Williams because I believe Paul Williams is so common.
Oh, the H make it more common.
Yeah, I'm not a common person. I am not a common person.
You know, so I'm going to keep to the subject. If we start talking you on a different level, you're going to get up a road. So, because keep to the subject. You're a cultural liaison officer at Great Huts. What that mean?
I prefer to call myself the education.
Brethren, I have business where you want to call yourself, you know. Call yourself, me dog, me cat, me cow, me don't know what I say. Them say you're the cultural liaison officer of Great Huts. What that mean?
Muta, I'm telling you, I'm the cultural and educational consultant to Great Huts.
Cultural what?
Consultant and education.
Where you consult for? I mean, I know it's culture.
I help.
Aspect of culture, yeah. Culture can mean only for different things.
Fine. There are many aspects of our Jamaican culture that I guide staff and myself at Great Huts about. For instance, on a Saturday night, we have a great cultural program from the Mansion Hill Cultural Group with Mr. Richard Darby, and it's a show that we look forward to every night because that show cuts across the length and breadth of Jamaican culture, from indigenous culture to popular culture. So I advise Great Huts and cultural programs and educational program. I'm an educator here at Great Huts. So I tell people about Great Huts, about Jamaica, about the programs at Great Huts, and I give tours.
All right, so what you call indigenous culture?
Indigenous culture, traditional Afrocentric culture, the dinky minute, the dancing, the drumming, the singing, everything that our foreparents bequeathed to us, we showcase it right here at Great Huts, Paradise on the Edge, because we are Afrocentric and we are eco-friendly.
What you call it popular culture?
Dancehall, ska, reggae, modern day ska, but we also go retro. Go back to the 1970s and 80s.
Can I ask you a question now?
Yes.
So I ask you now what aspect of culture, you know, because what you tell me now, you don't deal with dancing and singing.
No. Culture can be
you know what culture can be, and that's ask if you deal with that because of dancing and singing you mentioned.
No, we talk about Jamaican culture lectures. So I tell people about the indigenous, the heritage, the history of Jamaica. So it's about culture in many aspects. Material culture, which is about the artistic work here at Great Huts, and about performance culture. And we also look at issues that we have with our own cultural stories, like for instance, when visitors come to Great Huts, they want to know something about Jamaican language, Patois. So I give them a history of the language and where it is. And I also look at how some people discriminate against the very language that is ours, that we speak. So culture is across the board, but we don't do everything, but we do most things. For instance, look around you, you see significant aspect of our Jamaican culture in terms of the material culture. The handiwork of our local artists is all over Great Huts. So at Great Huts, we are not just about a retreat, a place where you come to relax. We also educate you at Great Huts, and I'm one of the persons.
That's why I never wanted an interview because the owner don't say that. That's why I never wanted an interview.
The owner cuts across many areas, so I didn't want to repeat what he said. But I must say it is indeed a pleasure to have you here at Great Huts, and we want to welcome you back, and we want you to take more people to Great Huts so that we can tell them exactly what we have here. Look around, you see a lot of books on Africa and Afrocentric issues. So that is also a part of the cultural offering.
I was reading one Charles Darwin, the origin of the species, when I come.
Right.
You read that? You read about that?
I have read many times. It's talking about evolution.
So what do you think about that?
Evolution. Yeah. I believe, yes, we have evolved in many ways. Physically, socially.
From the water.
Perhaps, but you'll never know, because my own philosophy is that no one was there at the beginning, so no one can tell me what it is. But we evolve, yes, of course.
Investigation.
Yes.
Scientifically, we can know. We're not dead to know.
Yeah, but scientific investigation is just that. It's all about perspectives. This is what a scientist feels about a particular issue. So if we evolve from other creatures such as chimpanzees or monkey, fine. Theory is out there, but who are we to accept it and embrace it?
So you don't accept it?
I know. I accept nothing. I am irreligious, seriously.
Okay.
And even the Christian God. I don't like these labels that you are throwing at me right now because I'm a free spirit. No, I don't like these agnostic labels and these atheist labels. I am a free spirit and I embrace.
So that's the label.
It is my label. I don't like the labels that other people. Yeah, I must label myself. Right. So yes, it's all about self-awareness and self-definition. So I embrace nature and nature embraces me.
Beautiful. So you don't believe in a God and them? So.
Not the Christian God. To me, the Christian God is one arrogant bastard, really.
Okay. I appreciate that. Very much. Okay, so how come the man on fire here? Because he's a Jew and should have fire you.
That's exactly what happens here at Great Huts. We are open to different ideologies. We are open to different philosophies. And it's not on us, really. Yeah. So is that going to fire me because of my political or social views? Well, if he fires me, my ancestors will speak with him.
So you believe in Adopi?
No, I believe in my African ancestors.
Then who is the African ancestor?
The persons who have gone before me.
But I am my ancestor.
Well,
please say I am my ancestor, and my ancestor is me. If it was my ancestor, I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't them, and I wouldn't be here.
Exactly, and that's what we do here at Great Huts. We try to tell the stories of our ancestors also.
So you make your ancestors run go back to Brooklyn?
I think further than Brooklyn, really.
Anyway, this is the continent. We are talking to Paul Williams. Him said more than a liaison officer. Him is all different things to different people on here. And I'm speaking, but I'm still not talking about the cinema production yet, because I'm not trying to him conceptualize it. So I'm not have nothing to say about that.
Carlo Les has all the information on Cinema Paradise.
Who that?
Carlo Les will come and speak.
Who name Carlo Les? That brother look like him afraid over there, so.
I don't know why, because
him look like him afraid.
It's not television, so I don't know.
Alright, we want to talk to, what's name?
Carlo Les.
Carlo Les.
It sounds like a Chinese name.
No, it sounds like him not, you not call him, you have to call him Les. Alright, work it out. We're talking right here, live at Great Hut. Yes, and this is a week of activities that are taking place here. And it does so happen that after 22 years, we end up at Great Hut, a place that I really love. And trust me, if it was one of them other hotel lonely, so would I tell me would I tell Cabo say me no walk out, believe you be. But Francie tell me say up here, so me say of course. What you mean? I we have a kayan up here. A kayan me a call, you know, a kayan me a call, you know, the kayan pepper. Alright. Kayan they had whole heap of things that show me. Carlo Les. Me free if you ask where he is now, you know, because you're gonna tell me that's a long epistle. Who is Carlo Les as it relates to Great Hut?
Yes, greetings, Muta. Give thanks. I am the coordinator for the Cinema Paradise Film Festival that we are now celebrating, and this is the opening night. So I'm working with Great Hut staff and team because it's like a family thing.
So you don't work here all the while? You don't come for the cinema thing?
Yeah, I just come for the cinema thing, although I was here a couple of weeks ago at a Rastafari thing that was going on here.
What kind of Rasta thing? Tell me.
Well, Great Huts had for 1 week, Jake's from the Institute. I mean, in Washington, right. He was down here.
I want to say that program is Visions of Ethiopia,
right.
Which you did not come to.
You never know that.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Mr. Jakes come on.
Yeah, Jakes was here, and they hosted Visions of Ethiopia, where we spoke reason every evening about Ethiopia, and Jakes showed us slides and discussion, music, drumming.
People here, a lot of Rastas from Portland and Oldwell.
A lot of Rastas came from Kingston actually, and some from Portland, and it was a nice
So
vibe.
white people never there.
Yeah, a lot were here from the tour, from the hotel, and you know.
I mean, different hotel are the same guests them here.
Some from different hotel and some guests from here. So it was a nice mixture.
Okay.
You know, so they had already had planned this Cinema Paradise, and me as a independent filmmaker. They wrote me.
Well, that interest, come up more, we may have stretched too much. All right. You're an independent filmmaker?
Yeah.
All right, like which film you work on?
My film is called The Golden Trumpet, showing on Sunday.
What about?
It's like a dub James Bond 007.
You're serious? So where the man inside the day?
Is Stingray, the Hans man who play, him star it.
So it's an animation thing, or is
it's like a musical but action. Yeah.
It's the on DVD?
Not yet. It's on YouTube.
I never hear about it. It's a cheap film. No, serious. I never hear about it yet. I mean, follow them things there.
Yeah, well, we're going to release it on vinyl, So we have it on YouTube. And we just premiere. Yeah, and we're really busting it out here at Cinema Paradise on Sunday.
All right, that's so wonderful. All right, so as you select the different film that we have a show?
No, I didn't select the film. There was a panel including Stephanie and Dr. Paul and
Stephanie involved in that New York and
yeah, Natalie.
Is that next Jew that you have to watch them, Is that next Jew? Is that next Jew, it's a Jew and culture the Jamaican cinema industry. Watch it, Is that Jew what this place here? Is that Jew that deal with the cinema thing? And the two of them live in New York. You have to watch it, Yeah. Okay, all right. So when you come together now and say this going show, that going show, that going show.
Yeah, they had a list and we it was really we narrow it down and we put compatible films together and do it like Sunsplash, a theme. Or you have dance all night, or
Okay.
Lovers Rock, and so we kind of tonight is the opening night, so we have One People and Smile Orange, a comedy about a hotel and we're at Great Huts.
That's a good long time, Carl Branch.
Yeah.
Long time,
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. One of the bus out thing them happening in Jamaica from them time. Yeah. Different from harder they come.
True.
You have harder they come to, don't you?
Yeah, man. Harder they come will be sure.
Yeah, the first gun movie in Jamaica, and I start only for gun business. Right. You tell Jimmy Cliff that in the vex when you tell him that. Say it's a gun movie that. Why you make so much gun movie for Project Jamaica? I mean, a whole heap of gun movie come. The nicest movie me see where you say that Jamaica is One Love. You know that one there? Yeah. With Kimani Mali. Yeah. That one there is a nice love story about a little Christian girl and a Rasta. Void of the whole heap of blood and gun. It's not that you can't have blood and gun, but most of the things that we see come out of Jamaica of that team there. Why you think that? Because that is really the regular thing in Jamaica.
Well, that's the regular thing, but it scared them, so people fascinated in what they're scared of, so they tend to gravitate to making that, while...
You mean them filmmakers, them?
Yeah, I guess, the people who write the stories, I mean, they're fascinated by the gun thing because the media push it, so it give them something to talk about, and then it fascinates them to the point that they have to recreate it in cinema.
But like a vibes cartel in the cinema.
Well, yeah. In a way, because people go and replicate what they see again. So we really need more love movies like One Love and movies.
We want a love movie, It's not that. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
We want a love movie. It's just that the amount of movie them.
Yeah.
When we say I deal with gangsterism and you have about 3 more I make you right now, About gangster business and fire shot and kill man and blood and gore and them something like Jamaica. We understand that Jamaica is a bloody country, but there's a certain beauty even at the ghetto that is not described yet by the people them who make movie. And I personally think that One Love is one of them movie there. It's a conflict between Christianity and Rastafari, and you see all the two of them come together and mesh, and the father have to really give up. You understand? And that to me is saying a lot even though it wasn't as big as successful as, the other that come and dance all Queen and them something there, but it really have substance. And I mean like Life and Death. Life and Death is not a movie still, but Life and Death show you something where the world can sit down and think. You see? So that is a documentary that will always live on, because even now it's valuable now, Considering Jamaica run Ghana IMF again. It brings forward Life and Death now, and the significance of how the IMF and the World Bank manipulate the political system in Jamaica, where them still I don't know. And Peter Phillips, I go like him not see that. And him a come from that radical time, But him trying to get so passive now and so inside. So the same woman where they make Queen, what's your name? The woman from the IMF woman there, what's your name? See them are investigator again. See every year them investigate her for corruption, When the truth is a big woman and she know for Baba and Weave, she always manipulate herself, but she's the Queen of Jamaica. She come validate the worst PNP government ever in Jamaica. She come validate them, and as she gone back to where to them all her again for some corruption thing we are going again. Billions when them people they are thief, when them people they are thief, they don't thief thousands, And money where you just dream about, and you don't dream about millions of dollars. You dream about thousands of dollars, don't it? Yeah, them people, yeah. You want to make some movie over them something there, some politician. You want some political movie now, like, like Law and Order. Or the system, or the government, they manipulate the people, them, and Baba and weave round the thing. Man, you can't get together and write something like that, man. And get Stefan F.A., get some Jewish money and work it out. You understand? Anyway, we give thanks, Bridget. We give thanks. So we look forward for this week, wonderful things.
Yeah, man. And it's free.
And it's free.
Yeah. Free to the public.
Only a Jew could have done that, Warm to Sunday. You know, man, I say plug Sunday. Plug Sunday.
And then independent film night, when we'll be showing short features like Ring the Alarm, Hazardous Darling, Cleaning House, Red Amber Green, Rastaman Wheel Out with Chronics.
How long?
Golden Trumpet.
10 minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes, 6 minutes, short films. Yeah.
Sunday, and now there,
Okay.
So you have to give me the DVD. Bad do with them. All right. Give thanks, brethren. Give thanks. Yes. Carelessness. I mean, not carelessness. Carloless. Carloless. This is the cutting edge at IRFM. Why, I gotta tell you. It's sweet me over the outside of. Believe you me. Brian, how you do? Commercial break time. Brian, commercial break time. Do your thing.
Listening to now all of it. You know here. Cutting edge. The edge. The edge.
Yes, the Congos. Ethiopian live it out again. This is the Cutting Edge, live from Portland, Great Huts. Wonderful ambience. We have a member of staff here, Laura Ann. I pronounced it right? Laura Ann. And she is the room and tour lady. You have to explain that to me, what the room and tour lady do.
The home and tour lady. Actually, here at Great Huts, I handle bookings, I deal with reservation sales, and I do a little bit of marketing.
That's all?
Yes. That's a whole lot in and of itself, but that's all, yes.
Okay, so the interview don't end. No. You don't handle bookings. Is you me that talk about the phone all the time?
Yes, that was me.
Okay, so how long are you there now?
I've been here for a short while, actually. I've only been here for about 4 months.
Hey, well, you look like you're there long, though. Do you work for me, see, I run up and down. I don't look busy, tell me.
No, man, you have to be seasoned. You have to know what you're doing, so.
No, you look like you do enough things.
That's how it goes here.
This is what I pay you good, though.
you know, you can.
Yeah, for your guest, that means him now pay you good. I'm going to talk to him, you know. We can't make him come to Jamaica and not pay you, you know. Believe you me. We got through slavery a long time. All right. So, you get a good flow of guests here, I mean, foreign guests.
Yes, man, we do, and not only international guests, but we get a lot of locals as well. And we've recently introduced local rates for persons with their local ID, and so all that's on the website. So Dr. Paul touched earlier on the rooms we have. We have 17 units. We categorize them into 3 categories, and so we have the royalty, the safari chic, and the down to basics. And on the website, when you go on our rooms, you will see the different categories and the local prices on the side.
So local people start come up here. And me make them come up here, you know.
Okay.
And me make them come up here, you know. No, me I take that for myself. And me make them come up here. And I know they will come up here. No, what Mutabaruka up here? I tell everything. All right. So, them have entertainment differently. Like people who not staying at the hotel. I can't do what the virgin say. Entertainment for people who not staying at the hotel. Them can still come in and enjoy the entertainment.
Right.
A restaurant facility.
Right. So our entertainment is primarily lies on Saturday night when we have our live cultural show where Mr. Darby and the local Mansioning group comes in. And so it's not only for our guests in-house, but persons are welcome to come in. Right. And then another feature of Great Huts that we offer tour, because we're actually an educational hub, and so we welcome persons to come on down, take a 30 to 45 minutes tour of the property, learn about the history and get to see the different aspects of what Great Huts has to offer. Because we're such a unique environment, I pride myself in saying that there's nothing like Great Huts. You'll never find something like Great Huts in Jamaica.
Except my old place, long as Treasure Beach.
We'll make an exception there. Yeah. But we're the number 1 bed and breakfast on TripAdvisor, so we're always welcoming persons to come on down to Great Huts to see what this natural ecosystem has to offer. Yeah. And now that we're having this program, the Cinema Paradise, is a fabulous time for persons to come on down to see what Great Huts is like, what we have to offer, because the filming is free every night. So it's a wonderful time for persons to come.
Well, I think I said most people are lined up for this weekend still. Like from Friday, everybody are going to start tripping.
Right. And that's why we call Friday a blockbuster night, because of the films that we'll be showing that night.
But you tell me the place is full already. The place is full up.
That's right. Great Huts is fully booked for the weekend, but weekends after we still have availability, so persons can call in now to book the reservations. One thing I like to note is that our rooms are unique. So for all 17 rooms, no two are the same. Right. So person wants to take a look on our pictures, get a sense of what is it like, what they wish to stay in, and then from there I'll take it over.
So like me I stay another one up there, so now you couldn't make you rent it and you give me a percentage. I would have stayed there with them, believe me.
Well, we can work out that deal with you.
I know there's an addition run at the back there. On the put a I don't want to call it a bed, but an outdoor kind of lounge kind of thing where you can sleep on.
At the secret?
Yeah, outside. I mean, the pool is there all the while, and it's a water night now, which is good, but you have a nice little thing where me just call my house and tell them, say, I out them and sleep weekend. Okay. But me hope say me not turn. Because you got over the cliff if you turn.
Well, that's why we pride ourselves in calling in that we're a paradise on the edge. So you can't get any better than this. So you
can't get any better if you start to turn. You never see the man where I turn. You never see the advertisement where the man had turned on the bed in the big hotel. You know them put 2 single bed together in some hotel. Yeah. And your wife over that bed, yeah, and you over there, but you forget, so you turn for Ogar up and you drop between the 2 beds. You never see that? No, that me know what is going on. I say, no, shoot up on the edge of the rock. We go down turn and end up over the cliff. You're not going to take responsibility for that.
You have to sleep alert if you're going to the
Yeah. She's a good person. She's a good person. You have to sleep alert. All right. So, the food now. What kind of food you offer here now? Tell me.
So we offer all different kinds of food. We have our chicken dishes. We have, for example, what's unique to us, our red stripe jerk chicken that's done solely here at Great Huts.
And obviously jerk pork.
Yes, man, we have jerk pork.
Right. So then I run companies, the people them up there so no bounce because tourists left here so and gone up at the carnival get the real thing.
No, man, we don't compete with them. So even though we offer certain things on our menu like the jerk pork and jerk chicken that they offer at the center, we welcome our guests to go there. But if they don't want to take the little trot, then we provide it in-house. But we always recommend guests to go there.
All right, that is good. Community thing. Community. So then I pave the road.
We're working on that. Improvement to come. We've actually changed our website, so we're taking it in strides. New things to come. So probably when you come next year, you'll see some new changes.
Road pave.
Right. We're lobbying for that, man. We're lobbying for that. It's in the pipeline.
You're lobbying for it? Oh, we're not going to do now. We're the parliamentarian for do it?
No. We're not going to sit it here, but it's in the pipeline because every day we strive for continuous improvement here at Great Huts. Even though we're in a rustic environment, we still consider ourselves to be of first world and first class. We offer first class amenities. That's right. It's not rusty. It's rustic. You're living on
you don't want everything get rusty.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
We love the rustic, but we don't like when it gets rusty.
No, you won't have anything rustic here, right? Rusty.
Yes. All right. I noticed on the other hand, pool room on the edge there, so like that never did there all the while. That is like an upstairs thing.
Right. That's the African sunrise. No, that is yes. No, that is as
it's above my room.
Right above. It's as pristine as you can get. That is our 3-story hut.
You're serious?
Right, and it gives you 360 degrees view of the property. So not only are you seeing the cliffside like you can on the Seagrape, but you will also see the beautiful Boston Bay.
You know, say, me notice it when I come in and I start, if I say, don't you like covet your neighbors with things? It's like me, I say, we should have to do over the next one now. That's how we can.
The good thing about Great Huts is because no two rooms are the same, you can always come back and have a fabulous time. So when you come back with us, you can stay in the African.
No, give me the Great Hut. Give me the grape one still. Oh gosh, man, I'm addicted to it. You know, so I go home and think on it.
Really?
Yeah, man, the first time I come here, I'm go home and think on it. I'm come back and go home again and think on it, you know.
That's amazing.
Yeah, man, I don't know why me love them something this so. Me love them kind of feel there, you know. Them, yeah, me no like concrete house, you know. You know, say Jamaican people, look at the Jamaican people say. Jamaican people feel, say, because them grew up in a board house, them look down upon board house.
It's more expensive. So
but not only that, you ever go at Lake Tower? Alright, maybe you never go at Lake Tower, yeah. But if you go at Lake Tower, you see, a pair billionaire live at Lake Tower, you know. And a pair wooden house and glass make for them house, you know. You don't see no concrete house in them place there, you know. Yeah, so in a Jamaica, we have a stigma about wooden house because poor people grow up, like me grew up in a wooden house. But me come to understand and look on it and say, it's a kind of elegancy. You know, it's like a black car as opposed to a white car. The black car look more elegant. You know, that is why you see a politician are driving it. And me black my car because me want to look like a politician too. But the wooden house, it have a kind of feel and it breed. You know, the house breed. Yes.
So here at Great Huts we have that as well. Primarily bamboo because we're giving that authentic feeling.
Yes,
so we consider our accommodation to be huts. We don't really consider them rooms but more huts because they are made out of bamboo.
So great house.
Great huts. Right, no, it's great huts because you're coming for a wonderful time. You're easing your mind. And we're a spiritual retreat. You know, persons coming from time to time. International guests, locals as well to just, you know, de-stress and relax. And we offer yoga here as well. And we have a yoga instructor coming on Friday offering free yoga classes for the Cinema Paradise program.
Is up here free?
Well, you know, we want persons to learn about this cultural habitat, this educational habitat that we have here. And so it's not just about making money. You want persons to know what the country has to offer and to experience Jamaica at its best because we're not just for the internationals, but for our people as well.
You know, so you talk without full stop. Up here, cover you talking. You're a good person. We're talking to Laura Ann. She is the hot room and what you call it, tour representative or what you call it? Tell me what is your title? Tell me.
I am the front office reservation and sales manager.
The front office representative, sales and reservations manager. And nobody don't work under, nobody don't work with you.
Actually, no.
Nobody don't work under you neither. So does you want work?
For that.
I show the you can't pay nobody else. Tell me.
No, just for that role. We have other managers here, but for that role, that's,
you don't need nobody for work under you.
I got it all covered.
Okay, because me I look at job. Okay, I'm going to work under you anytime. Anyway, this is the Cutting Edge, and IRFM there with you, having a wonderful time. We don't start have a wonderful time yet. Wait till Sunday. Wait till Friday and Saturday. Kaya, what we are saying? So we still celebrate Marcus Garvey Earth Day, though. When we say Earth Day, we are talking about him Earth Day. We are talking about him organization, 100 years of Marcus Garvey, UNIA. And we livicate Cutting Edge 1 month of just dealing with Marcus Garvey. And said tonight is no different, even though we do our outside broadcast, it is no different. But we have a big interview coming up here, we want you to stay for that, is Mwata Ashby. We have had him on Cutting Edge more than one time already, but years ago, from the 90s. And we're going to talk about Kemetic yoga. Your sister just mentioned yoga a while ago. You have a Kemetic yoga different from what them call Hindu yoga and all these different yoga. Kemetic yoga. So we want you stick around for that, because we're not left until 2 o'clock. You understand? And we have enough water here, so we keep awake, because we don't drink coffee.
REFM, thought-provoking, always smoking, lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to Mutabaruka.
Always give thanks to the Savior.
Yes, this is the Cutting Edge live from Great Huts Portland, coming to you direct through IRFM technology. Okay, so as I tell you, we're not really about Marcus Garvey out of the mix, because as we say, we still celebrate Marcus Garvey this month, and this is different, not because we're the outdoors, we're not going to deal with Marcus Garvey. So, we're going to read something here, and it's my favorite thing to read when Marcus Garvey say. I years me I read it, and me I tell you, say, any party in a Jamaica we adapt when me go read that. So now we personally go vote for them and lobby for them for win the election. So PNP, GLP, trust me man, me wholly followers, And if we tell them PNP, them go tell them GLP. So any party we want me lobby for them. Just go read this one, me go read it now and fulfill it. And trust me, me go all Cabo, my program manager. No say, should I help lobby for you? You understand? Okay, so me go read this thing and this dark light and come like me in some, me don't know. Me not say what me there. So I can tell you what it look like. But alright. Marcus Garvey says, our modern system of government have partly failed and are wholly failing. We have tried various forms, but none has measured up to the ideal state. Communism was the last attempt, and to most ardent advocates have acknowledged its limitations, shortcomings, and impossibility. The reason for all this failure is not far to seek. The sum total of governmental collapse is traceable to the growing spirit of selfishness, craft, and greed within the individual. Naturally, the state cannot govern itself. It finds expression and executes its edicts through individuals. Hence, the state is human. If we must correct the maladministration of the state and apply the cooperative majesty of the people to their own good, then we must reach the source and they reorganize or reform. Under the pressure of our civilization, with its manifold demands, the individual is tempted beyond measure to do evil or harm to others, and it is responsible to this entire state and people. And if by thus acting he himself profits and those around him, there arises corruption in government as well as in other branches of the secular and civil life. All other methods of government having been tried and failed, I suggest a reformation that would place a greater responsibility upon the shoulders of the elect and force them either to be the criminals that some of us believe that they are, or the good and true representatives we desire them to be. Government should be absolute. Now, why listen to this, this is Marcus Garvey in the 1920s. I talk about theme ideal government. Government should be absolute, and the head should be thoroughly responsible for himself or herself and the acts of his subordinates. Hear this? Marcus Garvey said that the head of the government should be responsible for all acts of his subordinate. You know, they say things are going on in Jamaica, you know. Like how them kill the brethren on a Montego Bay, Dean. And the police them responsible. Peter, the divine, responsible. Portia, responsible. But you know, none of them now take responsibility. Them a try turn around the thing like it's a ganja thing. Them a go and tell you about them a go, the police, this and all them something there. Is the top of the stream must be responsible. The top of the stream must be responsible. So Marcus Garvey is saying they must be responsible, and the acts of his and all his subordinates, he must be responsible for all the acts of his subordinates. When we elect a president or a prime minister of a nation, he should be endowed with absolute authority to appoint all his lieutenants from cabinet ministers, governors of states and territories, administrators and judges to minor officers. He should swear his life, not swear to the Queen, you know. Marcus Garvey never tell him must swear to the IMF woman will come here, so let them know under investigation. Because the money when she could have lend with her thief, she could have thief it too. You understand? So we're going to end up now be responsible for getting under table money. Marcus Garvey said, the state, alright, when we elect a president or a prime minister, they should be endowed with absolute authority to appoint all his lieutenants from cabinet ministers, governors of states and territories, administrators and judges to minor officers. He should swear his life as a guarantee to the state and people, not to the Queen or the Governor General or the ears of the Governor General or the ears of the state of Queen Elizabeth. But they should swear to the people, and he should be made to pay the price of such a life if he deceives, crafts, bow to special privilege or interest. You know what that means, you know? In a Marcus Garvey life, you know, every politician would have get hung already, you know, in a Jamaica. It's true. It's true. The whole of them in a God knows would have get hung already. He should swear his life as a guarantee to the state and people, and he should be made to pay the price of such a life if he deceives, craft, bows to special privileges or interests, or in any way undermine the sacred honor and must and trust imposed upon him by acts of favoritism, injustice or friendly or self-interest. He should be the soul of honor, and when he is legally or properly found to the contrary, he should be publicly disgraced and put to death. Marcus Garvey believe in a capital punishment for politicians. He should be publicly disgraced and put to death as an outcast and an unworthy representative of the righteous will of the people. A prime minister should, by proper provisions made by the state, be removed from all pecuniary obligations and desires of a material nature. He should be voted a salary and other accommodations so large, and them politicians give themselves money so large already. Marcus Garvey said them should not get big money, large money, but that is when they might do something for the people. He should be voted a salary and other accommodations so large and sufficient as to make it reasonably impossible for him. In other words, when you make a poor man become president or prime minister, and him never used to Corolla, him want a Pajero. And when him buy the Pajero, it's your things him take it out. It's you buy the Pajero for him, and it's you put him in the big house, and you buy all of the furniture them in him house. Marcus Garvey say, yes, give them all of those things, but make them swear to the state and the people. He should be voted a salary and other accommodations so large and sufficient as to make it reasonably impossible for him and those dependent upon him to desire more during his administration. He and his family should be permanently and substantially provided for after the close of his administration. That is where P.J. Patterson do. With the Prime Minister, them where after them gone, them still get big money, like the one who is in power. Marcus Garvey said, no wrong with that. After them done them thing, them should not still get them money. But, alright, we'll continue. He and his family should be permanently and substantially provided for after the close of administration. I think P.J. Patterson just did read a little part there, you know. I think a little part them did read, you know, yes. And all this and possibly more should be done for the purpose of removing him from the slightest possible material temptation or want. Marcus Garvey say we should make a politician them want anything. We should have give them everything, that it make it quite impossible for them to get tempted and lower into temptation. He, in turn, listen to this, he in turn should devote his entire time to the sovereign needs and desires of the people. He should, for all the period of his administration, remove himself from obligatory, direct, and fraternal contact with any and all special friends. Marcus Garvey said we should make the politician have no friends. Show me your friend and I'll tell you who he is. His only friends outside of his immediate family should be the state, not Queen Elizabeth, the state. He should exact by law from all his responsible and administrative appointees a similar obligation, and he should enforce the law by penalty of death. His administrators and judges should be held to strict accountability and on the committing of any act of injustice, unfairness, favoritism should be taken before the public, and on the committing of any act of injustice, unfairness, favoritism should be taken before the public, disgraced, and then stoned to death. No, Marcus Garvey, me not believe so. Me not really in that part about stoning nobody to death. But I mean, You can't hang them still. Him say you should have carried them going half a tree. And that him I say no. Should be taken before the public and stoned to death. This system would tend to attract to the sacred function of government. This is Marcus Garvey I say to know. This system should tend to attract to the sacred function of government and judicial administration only men and women of the highest and best characters. All right, where's this over? Okay, at 12 o'clock, you know? At 12 o'clock, all right. We'll go 12 o'clock, time for studio time. Studio time, Brian, take it away. Yes, we're reading something from Marcus Garvey, philosophy here. It's not from the philosophy and opinion, it's from Life and Lessons. Talking about what he sees as government and what government should be representative of and for. You know, in Jamaica, we swear to the crown and not to the people. Like in America, you have the people versus John Tam, or the people versus Henry. In Jamaica, you have the crown versus John Tam. So, we need to get rid of that. We need to get rid of that because what it is doing, the government is not swearing alliance to the people. In other words, the people is not the state. The state is the queen. So when we say the crown versus, what we are saying is that the state versus, but is the crown is the main thing in our head, not the people, which you should say the people. So this system would tend to attract to the sacred function of government and judicial administration only men and women of the highest and best character, whom the public would learn to honor and respect with such satisfaction as to obliterate and prevent the factional party fights of socialism, communism, anarchism, etc. for the control of government, because of the belief that government is controlling the interests of classes and not for the good of all the people. It would also discourage its self-seekers, grafters, demagogues from seeking public offices, as the penalty of discovery of crime would be public disgrace and death for them and their families. Marcus Garvey don't easy, you know. Marcus Garvey say all the family too must take responsibility for the conniveness of the people them. All right. So you know, say in a Jamaica now, when you look on this thing, you know, because we are examining this thing from a long time, where politicians come and what them do is promise you things. Marcus Garvey never said this, but I have said this now. I think that every politician and representative in the different parishes should have a manifesto of the things that they want to fulfill in their length of tenure. In other words, if him say, all right, we're going to build up 10 schools. By the time we get to come out of power, we're going to build up 10 schools. And we're going to get rid of, we're going to lower crime, and we're going to fix the road. You know, all of them things there is where politicians always promise the people them. When them stand up on a podium and make the people them feel like things are going for them. My thing is that if a politician set things on the podium because he want election votes, when him go into power, if him fail, him should be arrested. If him promise the people them things and don't fulfill it in the length of him tenure, he should be arrested. Because what you're doing is continue over promise the people them things where you cannot fulfill. That would help to stop these crazy people from promise you things like pie in the sky. And then when you ask for your pie, them say, but them never have enough money. And them know so them never have enough money all the while. The state should hold the wife. Listen to how Marcus Garvey had said, you know, because Marcus Garvey now just talk about the president and the prime minister. No, you know. Him said the state should hold the wife of a prime minister or a president and the wives of all administrative officials solely responsible for their domestic households. And they should be required by law to keep a strict and accurate public account of all receipts and disbursements of their husbands during their administrative term, and if any revenue comes into the household other than provided by law, should be promptly reported to the responsible officer of the state for immediate action, and should the wife conceal or refuse to make such a disclosure, and that it be discovered afterwards, and it was an act of crime against the dignity and high office of the incumbent, she and her husband should be publicly disgraced and put to death. And Marcus Garvey said these things in the family in the 1920s, you know. He must say, we should hold politicians, especially in that place of called third world country, we should hold politicians responsible, and not only the politician, but him wife too. That means say, when she go down her courts, go order all these furnitures, and them say, oh, we have enough money in the National Housing Trust Development Fund, can take out some money and buy the furnitures. He must say, if she can't get account feet and receipt and all them thing there, she and her husband should be publicly disgraced. Marcus Garvey. All right, immediate action, and should be, if it be discovered afterwards, I remember the family, all right, should be publicly disgraced and put to death. But any child or member of the family who before discovery, so Marcus Garvey, I bring the whole family into the thing now, you know. It's not only the husband and the wife, you know, you hear what I'm saying now? But any child you know. So the child must inform upon the parents now if him see corruption or go on. Any child or member of the family who before discovery reports the act should be spared the disgrace and publicly honored by the populace performing a duty to the state. The state should require that the husband and his consort, under the severest penalty of non-performance, report the full amount of his entire wealth to the state before taking office, and that all incomes and salaries legally authorized be reported promptly to the wife to enable her to keep a proper public account. Wherever a president or prime minister or high official during his term has performed solemnly and truly all his duties to the people and state, and is about to retire, he should be publicly proclaimed and honored by the populace. And all during his life, he and his family should occupy a special place of honor and respect among the people. They should be respected by all with whom they come in contact. And at death, they should be granted public funerals and their names added to the niche in the Hall of Fame of the nation. Their names should be placed on the honor roll of the nation, and their deeds of righteousness should be handed down to the succeeding generations of the race, and their memories sung by the poets of the nation. For those who have abused their trust, images of them should be made and placed in the National Hall of Criminology and Ill Fame, and their crimes should be recited and curse pronounced upon them and their generation. Government left to the free and wanton will and caprice of the individual in an age of corrupt as this, without any vital reprimand or punishment other than ordinary imprisonment, will continue to produce dissatisfaction, cause counter-agitation of a dangerous nature, and upheavals destructive to the good of society, and benefit to the higher hopes and desires of the human race. This plan I offer to the race as a means to which we may perfect the establishment of a new system of government conducive to the best interests of the people and a blessing to our disorganized society. of the 20th century. This was said by Marcus Garvey on December 1925 in Atlanta Federal Prison. In other words, him write this and send go give him wife from Atlanta Prison. So, I'm going to repeat it again. Any government, any PNP or GLP will take out this page out of Marcus Garvey book and decide they're going to live by it. Me personally will vote for them. And me will lobby to get them in power. Because according to what Marcus Garvey say so, all of our politicians them should they are prisoner right now. Because we find the whole of them guilty. All of them. This government and the opposition is a corrupt set of group of people. And all it's them are going and going is like a two-headed dragon with one body. You chop off one of the head, the body still exists. Some people feel if you change the people them, you change nothing. You don't change the people them and feel the system are going to change. You have to go to the root of the system. Change the system, you will get result. You change the people, you still have the same system, same oppressive system, you not get no result. So we keep voting every 5 years. Swap whatsoever we are swap. No better herring, no better barrel. Two-headed dragon. We want to know how is it that Marcus Garvey said these things from them time there. From them time there. In the 1920s. And we still a rock we brain about policies of government and how government for run. Because I don't see nothing wrong with what I say. As a matter of fact, him right. If a man knows say, if him do some corruption in a government and him will get hung, it will deter him. Believe you me. Because when, look how much corruption them find out in a government. You hear anybody? Look at all anybody I got prison, you know. Politician, they got prison in Jamaica. And as a matter of fact, one politician me got prison years ago. Years ago. Most of the people that will listen to me as right now never even born yet when the politician they got prison. And look how much every day here Jamaican people said, why the politician them corrupt is your pure thief them. And you know none of them got prison. How come so much thief in our system and none of them now got prison? Our politician recognize look, Marcus Garvey recognize, look here, if we don't put certain things in place that detract these people from doing things, we're going to continue talk about in the name of the crown, Queen Elizabeth and her successors, who want to keep saying that in an independent state. Why are you swearing to the crown of England and perpetuating the same colonialism upon the consciousness and the minds of the people them? That when we come tell them to them are African, you hear so we have great mischief. Marcus Garvey tell we say we're African for a long time. Africa for Africans, those at home and those abroad. We are African people living in domicile in this farmer slave plantation island known as Jamaica. And it's a politician that mash up the country. Politician mash up the country. And now through them can't do not body them a turn to divine whatsoever them a turn to. Peter the Divine a talk about divine intervention. Damian Crawford now come and say, boy, right now, it's through the people them turn away from God and all these things. And him a deal with film Christian because them now nobody tell him nothing is about nothing. And him can't understand why people now find it fashionable to deal with agnostics and atheism and all these things. And nobody don't want him to talk about the Christian God again. And when he done, she push us up in the parliament and say, Ray, we have a Rasta in the parliament now. And she didn't know some man a Rasta too, you know. She didn't know some man a Rasta. But that is how them catch the people them continuously. Them catch the people them continuously with these frivolous argument and talk. And the people them jump to it. The people them jump to it. So how long? You push a dog around for so long, one day that dog going to turn and bite you. You don't understand that? So you think it's all the while Jamaican people are going to sit down and just sit down so and just make you just do what you do and just do what you do and you know have no repercussions. Look on all the look on Look on we not come and fight either, you know. We not come and fight, you know. The former head of the police force, Ellington. Mr. Ellington, we still have a question on the board for ask you. You made a statement publicly that Vibes Cartel is responsible for 100 murders. And for you say that by your television, my television get blurred. That me I wonder if Vibes Cartel will kill out the whole of the Jamaican people. And we don't hear you say nothing more about it. And now you in a cuscus with man of foreign, and now you're in a cuscus yeah, so with people, police force have killers in the force. We want somebody to answer me. If you come on national TV and say one man, even though we don't like Vibes Cartel vibes, if you're in a prison for life, and you after you give him life, you come say responsible for 100 murder. Show with the evidence. Show with the evidence. You can't just wantonly accuse a man just so as the biggest policeman in Jamaica. You can't just, you think the president of America could have do that? You think the president of America could have come on TV and do that? Oh gosh, man. Mr. Ellington, I am calling upon Peter Bunting and the Prime Minister to examine the argument of Vibes Cartel killing 100 people are responsible for 100 deaths. It's not a joke thing that, you know. I mean, in a Vibes Cartel camp, you know. I mean, I call upon that because I'm in a Vibes Cartel camp, you know. I call upon it because I realize them come for him in the morning, they might come for me in the evening. You understand? And like when Mr. Mama go a 3 times I got jail for ganja, I never smoke ganja from me ban. So me know how it go. I mean I tell no lie about that, and 3 times I go to jail for ganja, and me not smoke ganja, I never smoke ganja yet. The 3 times I know my ganja, and 3 times the people them admit here for them ganja, and the police still carry go to jail. So me know that. And for 20 years, it dep on my record that when you go to embassy, them tell you say, boy, right now, them don't know if them give the visa because you have a criminal thing. Now them kill one brethren named Dean, down a Montego Bay, and now them a call talk about say, look at, if I tell the police them, don't lock up the people them for not spliff again. What kind of crazy madness that? It's not a ganja business, you know. 10 people on a kill last year in a police lockup, and 4 get dead already, and the year not done yet. It look like on our side with the American police them, you know. Watch it, you know. Watch it. This is the cutting edge. And I refer me there with you. Trust me. Marcus Gab. Cutting edge! The edge! The edge! Yes, we're there with you live coming from Great Huts Resort. This weekend here is a cinema paradise weekend. And it's pure local movies by local people will be shown. You know, the producer say I must talk about Sankofa. It's difficult to talk about something you involved with that. You know why I interview me and talk about it. I interview myself about Sankofa. Anyway, Sankofa is a movie that was made like about 20 years ago by an Ethiopian named Haile Girma who live in Washington. It's a movie on slavery. It's a period piece. It was shot right here in Jamaica. Trelawny, to be exact. Between Duncans and... Yes, it was shot in there. And Ghana, the first part of it is in Ghana. And the Sankofa is really going back. And the movie is telling you about a slave... Well, not a slave girl. It's a model from America who end up in a Ghana, in the dungeons. And she walk in the dungeon and she see our ancestors as slave. And the slave master, one of the man them catch her and brand her. and put her with the slaves them to carry her up on the ship, and she end up in this part of the world. And the story goes that she trying to find herself with this man, this slave named Shango. And guess who was Shango? And the worst slave on the plantation. No Mutabaruka, they put her this Shango in the movie. So Shango is showing her certain things, and she's developing her strength on the plantation, and only for inroads and inroads. What I think about the beauty of that movie is that there is no white person in there as no lead role. You know, and I remember when the movie just come out, some guy writing at times say, Haile Girima has written a slave movie with no white person as lead, and him have the lead slave not falling in love with a white woman. You can't just imagine that, because most slave movie where you see the bad slave always end up with the slave master wife in the house, or seduced by the slave master wife. The man write a movie where show you the inner workings of black people upon the plantation, them spirituality, them fussing and fighting, them love. And then you get accused of being racist because you never interject a white woman in the process. But we are told that it's the most successful independent black movie in America, and it keeps showing, and the word Sankofa has now been part of the vocabulary of people who is saying, I am my ancestor and my ancestor is me, because that is what it is. So we're going to just take a little vibes again, but Marcus Garvey, we are going to a special guest where we have you, so I never ever know Sam there, you know. Believe you me, I never know Sam is here. So we can't make him there, so, and do interview him. Believe you me, the man have so much book for the place. Look like every week the man write book, you know. They have so much book. Trust me. We have one shelf a pair of free book there, I talk about Kemetic yoga and Kemetic this and Kemetic. Like the man write book every week. Okay. Marcus Garvey say, take down the pictures of white women from your walls. Elevate your own women to the place of honor. They are the burden bearers of the race. Mothers, give your children dolls that look like them. They will learn as they grow older to love and care for their own children and not neglect them. Marcus Mosiah Garvey, totally vexed about these white dolls. It's a psychological impediment. You know, them did surveys about black children in schools, not only Anya, but in America, where them tell the children, them show the children them different dolls, and all of the black children them reject the black dolls because them said ugly. All of them grasp the white doll. The psychological deficiency that, because we were brought to believe that anything black no good. And Marcus Garvey recognized that for a long time. So, we just want the people them know, say, even though Marcus Garvey said these things from 1920s, we still are living at that abyss, that quagmire of delusion by the slave masters, because we still, what them call it, swear to the Queen and our successors. Can you imagine that in a time of the 21st century? Jamaican people who give the world Marcus Garvey, who give the world Bob Marley, and all A.J. Rogers and all these people. We in the 21st century are still swear to the Queen and our successors. If you go to the Queen or ask her if she remember Jamaica, she could ask you what the hell we're talking about. Because supposed to have all Alzheimer's, you know, like myself, yeah. Yeah, we hear the sister who represent the administration here talk about yoga. But you know that a lot of people them talk about yoga is some, I don't know if Indian yoga them talk about. Them feel say these things can only be had through India and the gurus them in India. Well, we have a man here with me who going to share some knowledge because he have done extensive writings and lectures on the Kemetic yoga. As I say, the man have books, pan top of books, pan top of books. Trust me, about Kemet and Kemetic yoga. Muta Ashby, well-known historian. I don't know why I call him historian, believe me, because him delve in a certain things away. You're so here though, believe me, you're so here. Yeah, we're coming to you live from Great Huts Portland. This is the cutting edge, or maiden voyage outside of IRFM studio. Remember, I said a little more, we're going to go back to the studio again to present you the stepping razor, the art of war, from 2 to 5:45. So, we're going to the studio. Not when we're done here now, though. We're not drive. Go and watch you when we're done here, now. Can't drive. Go and watch you. Eh? And the driver, too? He want to go home. Okay. I'm going to drive and watch you, now. I'm going to do it later, but I'm going to go and rest up here, Get up and drive again. Okay. This is the cutting edge, and we talk about commercial break, Brian, commercial break. Take it away.
You are listening to Mutabaruka.
Yeah, we're coming to you from Portland, Great Huts. This week, Great Huts celebrates Cinema Paradise. Wednesday gone already, they had Smile Harris and one people. Well, it's today, Thursday, they're going to have one love. And the harder they come. And in that they will have, I think he's the director, Rick Elgood is the director, so he will be here. And then on Friday, for those of you who want to come, it's free. I was told it was free. Friday, they're going to have Life and Death we're going to have a guest speaker here, Stephanie Black. And then they will have Sankofa with a guest speaker, I think is Mutabaruka. And then Saturday, August the 30th, they have Better Must Come with a guest. Well, you know the man who did that movie, Storm Salter. And then have Get Alive with guest Chris Brown. And then have Ching Pao with guest Bruce Hart. And then Sunday, which is the last day, they have a series of short movies here. Ring the Alarm, Hazardous Darling, Cleaning House, Red Amber Green, Rastaman Wheel Out, and Golden Trumpet with guest speaker. So that is a whole week of activities taking place right here in Great Huts. Cinema Paradise, them does it all. Boston Bay, Port and Tony. Yeah, so we have a brethren here where we interviewed him already over the years, and as I said before, the man writes so much book. I don't understand. How the man write so much book? Where you get the whole thing if you have so much book?
Good question.
Eh?
That's a good question. Originally, I started out looking for answers to the questions of life. And we started out looking in an Afrocentric path. We started looking back, history of Africa, and that led us to the spirituality of Africa. And then I realized that Kemet, in my view, I discovered that all the roads lead back to Kemet. And then that led me on a road to explore the different aspects, because I realized that no one was really writing in that area. They're writing historically, but not in depth from a philosophy perspective. And then we realized also that there were practices also that they were calling yoga in India that I recognized already were there in Africa previously. And then I started to explore that area, and that led to the exploration of the many books on different subjects of the Kemetic yoga. from everything from the physical postures, which is one of the reasons why we're here this week, but also into meditation, which many people think that only Buddhism or Hinduism introduced meditation. And we discovered the earliest meditation in history, the Glorious Light meditation system. But that really, it was really a search for the meaning of life and why we were dissatisfied with our lives, dissatisfied with our politics, with economics and everything, and looking for the meaning of life.
All right. You remember how much books you have? I mean, like, you can't remember how much books you have for the market.
They're about 65. When I came first time, it was something like about 20, 25.
Wait, a one man write 65 books.
Yeah, sure.
Eh?
All of them are kids, so he has to.
Oh, is a kid? Oh, I know that his wife is here also. Is the kids? The books there? 65 books. All of them is on Kemet.
Yes. Yes, mostly. They're related to Kemet, or, like, for instance, the latest book I wrote, it came out beginning of this year. It's called Mount Philosophy versus Fascism and the Police State.
Okay.
So we're expanding the ethical conscience concept of Ma'at. And we're showing people how it relates to what is going on today in politics and how exactly things that you were talking about just now with your government. We have them.
Same thing.
We have them 100 times.
Back
in the States, exactly. So in that area, we've written about economics and how the ancient Egyptians ran their economics, how they ran. Also, of course, the book on Kemetic diet. So over the years, it has expanded out, showing how the Kemetic philosophy relates to all the parts of our life.
Yeah, all right. You seem to emphasize on yoga. Explain to me how yoga factor into, like what you just say now, like politics, sociology, how yoga factor into that.
Okay, first of all, yoga is a Sanskrit term. It's an Indian term. And the Kemetic term is Sima.
Okay.
That's the term that if you translate it, you will get the term yoga. And the term Sima means union of the higher and lower self. And it means a recognition, first of all, that there is a higher self and that one should live one's life in a way, in our ethical conscience, in our relationships, in our secular relationships, in our laws, in such a way that it will be conducive for the whole society to lead to a union, to a harmony with the higher self. So union of the lower with the higher. So that means...
The symbol also relates back to Kemet, because the symbol for Sima or yoga shows Heru, one of the divinities, the primary divinities of Kemet, and Set, symbolizing the ego consciousness that has now become purified in harmony, joined in together on a symbol of the trachea and the two lungs, which relates to the breathe-in, but also to union of the opposites. So it relates back to our Kemetic iconography as well too.
Yeah. All right. So you choose Kemet because you feel that this is the origin of this discipline. That is why you choose.
In a word, yes.
All right. So how you come to that conclusion over the years? Did you go there, you study hieroglyphics on the walls of the pyramids?
Yes.
How you come to that?
Yes, by the study of directly of the texts and finding out that they are the oldest rendition of this teaching that later was called yoga in India or meditation in Buddhism later on, thousands of years later. So, yes, find concretely with proof that this existed.
And the people from...
the one proof, the biggest proof is one of the wonders of the world, and that is the Horamaket, the Sphinx, the Horamaket.
Okay.
Geology studies have showed that it has these vertical grooves in there. And if they go back and they figure those grooves were made by rain, and the time when rain was in Kemet, that would have created those grooves conservatively. It dates back to 10,000 to 12,000 BC, but how long does it take to create really deep grooves in rock?
Yeah.
So it even dates back earlier, but conservatively we can say at least 10,000 to 12,000 BC, and the proof is there in that monument of the Sphinx or the Horamak.
The proof that what?
The proof that Kemetic spirituality and Kemetic Chateau Netter, the philosophy of religion, right? Because that symbol, I let Sibama explain the symbol of the Horamak, that proves that it's a religious symbol. I could too, but no.
The great, many people go to visit the Great Sphinx in ancient Egypt, and they go see and they're awed by it. But if you come to study it, the philosophy that is behind it, the concept of an animal with a human head is a theme that runs through Kemetic philosophy and Kemetic history, as well as the philosophy of the serpent power is also embedded in it as well. What the Indians later called Kundalini Yoga, the serpent power, the idea that you are going to discover and harmonize the lion power within you, the serpent power within you, to make it perch up into the point between your eyebrows, and you're going to have a higher vision. And we have discovered a serpent power scripture that follows up on that shows how the system works, and that's what we teach as well. We've seen that, and that is one of the postures of the Kemetic yoga system that we teach as well. So, and that's the oldest, but there are other.
So what is the? Tell me the different levels of this Kemetic yoga that people practice. Like you start somewhere, and then you're trying to get where in this discipline. You must have levels of this discipline. And so you start at this point, and you're trying to get to where are you trying to get in the context of levels?
Okay, in the context of levels, for instance, in the Kemetic yoga practice, the physical postures practice, what the Indians may call Hatha yoga, or the movements, the physical movements, we have 5 levels of practice. 5. One is level 1, which is for physical, and the second is for adding to that a mythological study, where you go through the movements of the postures and in a way that enlivens the mythology behind them. So you start learning there. Another level, the third level, is a meditative practice, where you go into the practice and you actually are looking to enter into higher consciousness through those movements, through those practices. Another level is a kind of what we call a meditative form, where after so much practice, the practice becomes automatic, and you become the movements, you become the practice, and that's in the posture system. We have a meditation teaching as well. That is, I said before, is the oldest teaching in human history, and that is something that you get initiated into the practice, into a specific words of power.
To tell me the specifics, like getting initiated into it by doing what, or what is done to be initiated into this level, that level where you
into the practice, to be initiated into the practice as an ordinary person, as a regular person. All you have to do is show up for the level 1 teaching, and that is the basic practice. It doesn't include mythology or philosophy or mysticism. Those are the next stages. Right, those are the next stages. So if you stay with the practice, you become initiated into the next level, the mythological.
So the teacher tells you when you reach there, you will know.
Exactly. Well,
exactly
both.
Which one?
Both, really, both.
All right. You know when you reach to the mythological level.
Well, when you have reached a certain level of centeredness, a certain level of ethical conscience, a certain level of peace within yourself, and then when you're recognized as manifesting that, because you can manifest that when you're in the yoga environment. A lot of people do that, but then they have troubles, when they're outside and they come back and they're crying and they don't know what to do themselves. You have to have a certain level of balance over time, a certain level of being able to apply the teaching over time, the wisdom teaching, as well as the ethical conscience teaching. So
this is foundation level, or the step.
These are foundations. These foundations of the practice.
So this is the first level is the understanding of what you just said.
Exactly.
Okay. So you don't reach mythical level before you reach this, what you just said.
Right. You have to come to a physical purity with Kemetic diet.
Okay.
So you have a Kemetic diet. Turn to vegetarianism as well. And then you have to have a certain level of the physical practice for physical purity. You have to have a certain study of the Muta philosophy for ethical conscience. So you have to be a righteous person, in other words.
So this is the physical level. All right, so you want to say something?
So the level 2, you were asking, like, what makes people, how do you get to the level 2? Does the teacher have you do it, or...
you know when you reach it, or the teacher tell you.
So what we're here in Portland, Jamaica doing right now is the level 2 certification for the posture system, the Tef Simapaut Netru, as we call it. The movement and union of the gods and goddesses. And so this is Asar Ankh, and he is a teacher of the level 1. So I'd like to introduce him and have him answer what made him want to do the level 2. How did he know he was ready to go to level 2? or he wanted to take his students to level 2.
Yeah, greetings. Yeah, good to see you again. Like Seba said, once you've adapted a lifestyle on something, you've built a mindset around pure body, mind, spirit, those kinds of things. You want to go deeper naturally. And there's a part of you that knows that there's something more. So to be deeper in the teachings, in the mythological, and then to be able as an instructor or a teacher to provide more to the audience that you serve. Because what we're attempting to do is to elevate the consciousness of the planet, by elevating the inner consciousness that we have within, and then in our sharing more about this as we move around the planet in different ways. We want to be a force that kind of quiets some of the noise that you're talking about with the politicians being the loudest voices, So at some point, we'd like to see a day when righteous people again are like, the people that you're talking about. I don't know if you want to have a radio show with only righteous people running the world, though. It might be kind of boring, No,
well, then we wouldn't have to have the radio program. So the reason why we have the radio program is because of this craziness. If we never have the craziness, we wouldn't need a radio program. But I still want to find out about knowing when you reach or when you are supposed to take the next level. That is real. Because we're talking about now, I hear you mention about 5 levels, I think, and you reach a physical level. I want to know how you cross over into the mythological level, which is supposed to be the second level. How you know that?
Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
With Asar Ankh. He started talking to me, I believe last year. He mentioned it. And then we talked about it again in December. And I agreed because I've known him. We've known him for 14 years, 15 years. And I've known his practice. I know his devotion. And he has been doing the service. And he has been transforming himself. Also following the instructions. That's a big thing. So since I know him, I agreed. So if he had not reached a certain level, I would not have agreed to take him on and work with him further as well. Yeah. And that goes for all of the students as well.
Okay, all right. So you're crossing over now to the mythological level. What is happening in the mythological level that is defining it as a mythological level? Because we understand what myth is. So you're going to a realms of seeing, hallucinating and seeing things that you try to put meaning to that thing, which is not really the thing what you're seeing. In other words, if you dream about rat, or if you see rat, it's not really rat, you must think, say, it's that if you dream about somebody, water, it's like pick-up. I don't know if you know pick-up, it's like...
Like a metaphor.
It's like how you have... them have a thing named Cash Pot on Jamaican radio, where... I don't know the people them do it, but obviously somewhere them say like 10 and them say, oh, them play rat, or them play dog, or them play drunk crow. And you say, all right, the number represent something. So that is represent as mythological. That is how you use myth. It's not the real thing.
Right, so we need to start there.
Like man a dog. women say man a dog. It's not like man is really four-legged thing, but man deal with it.
This is a metaphor.
Yeah. So the myth that you are going into now with yourself in reaching the next level now, what is it that is happening?
Okay. First of all, we have to look at the word myth. And the way that modern culture has developed the understanding, myth is defined as a lie.
Yeah.
Or something that is not true.
That is not true. That myth is a lie.
Exactly. That's a lie.
That's a lie. Yeah.
Exactly. So myth in the old understanding, before Western culture came to prominence, myth is a kind of language that gives us information about the origins of our own existence, our soul, the origins of our culture, the origins of our existence, the origins of the universe, in fact. And if you work and you understand the philosophy of myth, then you can understand that language of the spirit, the language of the higher self, the astral plane. And that opens us up to the possibility to move to the next level of mysticism. So you move from myth to mysticism, practicing the rituals of the myth and studying the different issues brought forth by the gods and goddesses.
Right. In the Kemetic tradition, what is deciphering of the myth in the Kemetic? How do you decipher this myth to move to the next level?
Well, we in religious studies they use a term called reading a myth, but deciphering is okay also. Because what you want to do is to understand what the myth is telling you psychomythologically.
Yes.
And for example, the story of Asar. Asar was the king. He was killed by his brother, and then his wife Isis, Aset, went into hiding. Afterwards, she found his body that Set had killed. So on and so forth. This, if they tell you just that level, then it sounds like some crazy thing, some gods and goddesses, some polytheistic nonsense, and all this kind of thing. If you realize from the deeper scripture that these are metaphors, as you discussed earlier, metaphors for psychospiritual conscious states within you. For example, Asar is the soul, and Set, it represents your ego. So your ego has killed you. And then from there, we go, how do you bring the resurrection? Has killed your soul. Has torn it to pieces. So how do we put it back together? That's what's really going on in the myth.
You know, what you just explained, so like voodoo. Because that is the same way that they explain the deciphering of myth. And I think what is happening is that why people demonize African traditions is because a lot of it in the spirituality comes in mythological forms. And the mythological forms seem to not be so clear when it comes on to human perception.
Yes.
In other words, the head, like when we talk about the Egyptian and the Kemetic people, the body is one thing, but the face represent an animal. That to the normal person is not seen as something that should be deciphered. It is more seen as rotted. What kind of madness that? A craziness that?
Exactly.
Man of arcade and all. It's the same way in voodoo.
Exactly.
It's the same way in voodoo, you know. When you study the Orishas and you recognize how the gods represent a certain level of human behavior and consciousness, you find that it's some deep science.
It's definitely similar in Yoruba. The big difference between any of the African religions and Kemet, because they are related, there are some relations and there are some similarities, but the big difference is that Kemet did not have an oral tradition, or just an oral tradition, because that can be distorted. That can be distorted. It could be forgotten. It could be messed up by slavery, the griots, and things like that. So if you have a written history, then anybody can go back. If they have the keys to understand the myth, they can go back and see what it's really supposed to be about, and then you can't really refute that. But if you have something that's an oral tradition, it's subject to interpretation.
You can't try the telephone. I whisper something to you about the reach out, man, is a different thing. All right. So we reach the mythological, we decipher the mythological. All right. All right. So, we reach the mythological and we decipher the mythological now. How is that helping the physical part of the consciousness? Because we're jumping from
physical part of the consciousness.
Yeah, how deciphering the myth helps to elevate the physical part of the consciousness. Because you start at the physical and now you reach the mythological.
Well, think about it this way. What we just discussed, if someone is listening out there and they're going to start realizing, hey, he's talking about my soul has been shut up by my ego, and maybe that's why I'm messed up. Maybe that's why something's going on. Maybe if I look at this teaching, maybe I can fix my life.
Okay.
So, just a very simple example. If you start living your life mythologically, like with a myth, because myth is also a journey. It gives you information, not just your origins and the philosophy. It gives you a destination, where you're supposed to go, which is a freedom, a kind of freedom and a kind of peace and a kind of power also. So that's how it's supposed to bring your physical existence into a kind of royalty.
Yes.
And a kind of power.
So take, for example, the creation myth, which is one of the myths we've been studying this week, and we also have two.
The creation myth in the Bible. Which creation myth?
The Kemetic creation myth. The Kemetic creation myth.
Okay. No, why I say that, because it's thousands of people listening to it, and a majority of people, the way it's a creation myth, refer to the Genesis.
We were just so much into our own Kemetic world this week here at this conference that I did, but normally, yes, I would make that association. We have two of our other students, if I could just quickly introduce them, Sehu Kepraong and Unut Ampu. They're here with us also at the program. So take, for example, the creation myth. In the creation myth, you have what's called the bark of Ra, the divinity Ra, who is like the God, the supreme being. In the front of that, he creates creation and sustains creation. So the bark sails across the primeval ocean, and that sustains creation in the myth. But at the front of the bow of the boat, you have goddess Ma'at. Goddess Ma'at symbolizes the cosmic energy and principle of righteousness, of truth, of harmony in life, of selflessness in life. So that is so the myth puts her at the front. She's the foremost. She touches the first part of the waters that forms into the creation. So the essence of creation then is righteousness. Now, when you do the Ma'at posture, when you study the mythology related to the creation myth and you learn about Ma'at, that comes to you. You, in your life, as you practice, have to embody that Ma'atian energy. So if you eat meat, and that is not in line, do things that destroy the earth, do things that pollute the sky, hurt others, lie, cheat, steal, all of that, that has to be sublimated and transformed in your life and purified, and you have to get rid of those negative qualities. And so that's how it directly comes into your practical life. You become more harmonious and balanced and righteous in your daily life.
All right. What they call I don't know if it's a negative term, but I'm going to still use it for purposes that is out there, because we're not just talking but we're just talking to the world. The 42 so-called negative confessions, is it a part of the physical or is it a part of the mythical? Where that comes in? Because when you repeat that where? In the physical, you say not avoid on this, not avoid on. When you reach a mythical, you decipher it and you start to declare that not avoid this and not avoid. What part of that journey you start to invoke?
That's the physical.
That's the physical.
That's physical. What's happening is that you are supposed to, by the time you reach the final judgment, the gods, you are supposed to be able to say those things.
Okay.
That you have not done this, and that you have not stolen, that you have not killed, and so on and so forth. So you're supposed to live your life in an ethical way.
Yes.
And then when you arrive there, it's not just that you're supposed to be to say that when you get there and everything will be okay. You're supposed to live your life.
Yes.
While you're alive physically in that way.
So as I said, you're going to balance this now with the Mahat. To see, like, do you tell your student to repeat this?
Sure.
Repeat the confession.
Sure.
Repeat it.
Sure.
And in repeating it, which is like personal responsibility now.
Yes.
Differently from thou shalt not. You said not
Correct.
buy. So you're taking the personal responsibility. Is taking the personal responsibility mean that there is something that is igniting in your consciousness, something that says, I don't ready for this yet, because one of them killed the scale of mad, and I have to now go back. Or you work that out as a teacher, because is the teacher not going to know, because I could have up in there and not repeat them and I say, yeah, I'm ready for the third stage now.
Well, see, just repeating them is not.
Yeah.
That's not the goal.
Yes.
But repeating them is for you to remember and for you to strive to reach that perfection.
So you can repeat it and still don't reach the goal then?
Of course.
So, all right. So, you know to go back?
How you know to go back?
Yeah, all right. If you say, not have I stolen, and you did steal, the teacher don't know that.
But your soul knows that.
But your soul know that. So I'm saying now, can you trick yourself into going to the next level without truly weighing that balance within the level? Like saying, no, not have I, and I have not stolen anything, but in your consciousness, you have tipped the scale. Can you trick your consciousness in order to go forward without accepting, say, I steal?
The answer is no.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
Because when you arrive to the judgment, the gods and goddesses already know. They already know what
you're talking to your conscience.
Talking to your conscience.
Yeah, you're talking to your conscience.
Right.
It's not talking to something out there because it's a mythological thing. No. You're not,
exactly.
You're not internalizing the mythological to your conscience.
Right. So the same gods and goddesses that are your consciousness, they present to you, and you cannot fool them. Because you can't fool yourself. You can't fool yourself, right?
Yeah, you're running away from yourself, but it's
because you're faced exactly with yourself.
Yes. So how the teacher come in at that then?
How the
teacher comes into that? The people that say the guru, how the guru come in at that?
Well, the teacher is not concerned with what a person will do personally from the standpoint of internally, but what I'm trying to get at is a teacher is not concerned with what a person will do from a standpoint of professing their perfection. Professing it means what they are. It means what they're becoming, what they are purifying to be, and that is between themselves and themselves. The teacher's role is to show the way, show the path, and they have to walk the path.
Yeah, the Christians says that Christ represents that conscience. So instead of you take the law, the law, they say the law kill, the law don't heal you, kill you, but Christ in the spirit save you, but not Christ as is recognized in the physical, but Christ representing the conscience of the individual. So Christ is no longer an individual out there, but Christ is the unraveling of the mystery, of the myth, which is the conscience. So you don't need a book to tell you that you must not kill or you must not do this, but through the Spirit of Christ that dwells in you, you will automatically understand and know that you must not do these things.
I was going to say, how does that work out?
That is true if you have reached Christ consciousness.
Yes.
But if you are a regular egoistic person who says, "Oh, I believe in Jesus,"
like me,
then no.
Okay.
And no, like me and you, I'm not included.
I drive. Like,
No, it's how is that working out on this planet with the Christianity, and that will.
No, I'm just trying to draw a comparison.
Right. Christ consciousness in terms of mystical Christianity that originated in Kemet, based on the Assyrian tradition. Yes, that will work in that way to develop the person's conscience and so on and so forth. The way it is has developed in the West, the Orthodox Christianity that has lost that, because the Orthodox Christianity does not say that you yourself are Christ and that you have Christ consciousness.
No,
that's the mystical Christianity. That's the mystical Christianity. In the West, you are to revere Christ, and somehow Christ is going to affect you.
Somebody,
right? Someone outside of yourself. And so if you're talking about mystical Christianity, and that's the same thing as what comes out of the Asar resurrection with our mysticism of Peru and Asar.
She anxious to say something.
I was going to say, so when we look at religion, we look at the religion as having 3 steps. It has the step of myth, it has the second step of ritual, and it has the third step of mysticism. That's what we refer to as an authentic religion. So in many spiritual traditions, not only in Chetamneter of Kemet, but in other systems, they have those 3 aspects. But the Orthodox religions, they tend to have the myth and the ritual. The mysticism is what is the united underlying, recognizing the united underlying oneness of all things and everyone in creation. So when you only stuck at the level of myth and ritual, then you can fight each other about which one is the real one. Right? You don't get to that level of oneness. So Gnosticism, it was what Gnostic Christianity is what you refer to. So we, in our tradition, we respect and we accept the Christ as an enlightened being, but through the Gnosticism and through the Gnostic aspect of Christianity. So it's not in the same way that we say, you believe in Jesus. We don't believe in Jesus in the Orthodox Christian way, but like you said.
Totally agree with you. And I would hope that we don't get too heavy to the listener out there. That's sometimes these things that it get heavy. When I go back to the studio, you tell me I go to the studio. Or they had one sweat them done for the night. Okay. We just want you know that we're coming live from Great Huts Cinema Paradise this week. And we're talking about some heavy stuff here in the middle of the morning. But
some politics. So you started off the first question you asked.
No, we're trying to get to the stages where we're at that.
I think you were asking how you make it into the practical.
No, that's why that was the first stage, We reached the first stage. Him did explain that. So we reached the mythology part, we are decipher the myth in the consciousness, So we're talking about the mythical, all of these things. But no, behind it, there's something to be understood. So if you keep referring to the myth, and then you start to use the myth as the reality of the situation, you won't get anywhere. You have to understand that it is a myth. Like one man say, you have to know it's an illusion, that you can use the illusion. If you don't know it's an illusion, it's going to just stay at an illusion and confuse you. It confuses you. Alright, so we reach the myth now, and then we go to the next stage.
Well, in terms of religion, the next stage
No, this stage, remember we reach a physical, then we go to mythological, now we go to it's all we're going to, because we're trying to figure out where we're going, what we're really going to. So we reach a myth, we're done with the physical, we go to the mythical, so now where we're going now?
Now we're going to metaphysics.
Okay, alright, so we could talk about the metaphysics part now.
The metaphysics, the mysticism. The definition of mysticism is when you discover the oneness of yourself with all creation and transcending creation. You yourself as an immortal and transcendental being.
Including inanimate objects? Including inanimate objects?
Well, what you call, or what is referred inanimate object is actually not an inanimate object.
Yeah, I know, but for the people who are listening,
correct.
Them understand inanimate object, but we don't want to let them stone have life tonight, because what kind of mad people them like on the radio.
Okay. Yeah. What we call elements.
Yeah.
The stone, water, air, fire, metal, and so on and so forth. Actually, from our perspective, from a mythic perspective, we've already learned that those are actually manifestations of divine consciousness.
Okay.
So, in this next step of mysticism, you're actually going to experience that, in fact. And you're going to experience the oneness of creation. How? By elevating consciousness to the level of that experience. By living a life of physical purity and ethical conscience and mythic wisdom, and then gradually expanding in consciousness to experience that oneness.
So you are saying now that in that level now you are becoming one with this.
Yes, and for easy understanding, it's oneness. It's really transcending even that. But for easy understanding, yes, we can say it's a kind of oneness with creation.
And you can now direct that creation if you have become one with it.
You are already directing it from the standpoint of you are already one with the director.
No,
the universe
but you have
is
become
already
the director if you are one with it. You have become the director. There's no other now. Because you have become one with it. So
exactly. Exactly. That's what I mean. So you are becoming one with the one who is directing already.
Yeah. So I'm asking now if, for instance, now if we're like a brother, I mean, say drop down dead. Will he drop down dead because of my?
If it is within his what we call Aryu to drop dead, then yes, he will. Aryu was what the Indians call karma. Aryu governs the things that happen in time and space. If it's within your Aryu to have that experience, or somebody to shoot you, or somebody to whatever.
You, somebody happening to you, you making it happen to somebody.
Right. If the same thing. If somebody is supposed to die, and if I'm a director of the universe and he's supposed to, he will die. If he's not, then he won't, because it's by own law that has been set.
So you cannot decide that then.
It has already been decided.
No, but I'm asking you, in becoming one with this,
you see, we
cannot direct.
The direction has already been set.
Yeah.
The law has already been set by the one. Okay? And the law
you
is
that
the
Muslim
and the law,
you don't say the Muslim think that way too.
No.
That you cannot direct anything. Anything that is happening is supposed to happen as it goes. If you're supposed to die by a car, both can't.
Yes, but they're saying that's because Allah has said so.
Yeah.
And we are not saying that.
But you still have a teacher that's saying it to you.
No. What we're saying is that the law has been set, the law of Ma'at. And so whatever your actions are, whatever you have done in the past, whatever you have felt, that is what's going to direct your fate.
Yeah.
And you cannot die, you cannot be killed unless that fate says so.
Yes.
And the Supreme Being has set up that law.
So what's the difference between if Allah said and you saying it that Mahat said?
Right.
What's the difference?
Because you yourself have accumulated that consciousness that you have created as an individual. You follow? Because that's the missing piece that we're discussing here. God has set the law, but you yourself have created your consciousness and your capacity for survival or for death by your actions.
So you're saying that because I say Allah said no goes on.
No, because since you are the Supreme Being, you direct your.
No, but I'm saying if I am not the Supreme Being,
but you are.
And no, listen to me. That is when I reach into consciousness.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the person who's in the consciousness. I'm talking about the person who's saying.
Even so. Even if you have consciously not reached higher consciousness, the law still applies.
Yeah, so I'm saying now that Allah says, I'm saying that the Muslims, that philosophy that you just exposed a while ago, the Muslims declare that this is what is happening here. If you said, why are you smoking? Him say, look here, if I'm supposed to dead by cigarette, a man now shoot me.
See that's a kind of self-serving kind of circular statement. Because people say they want to smoke and say, "Oh, I have to die someday," and if I'm meant to die, I will. If I will, whatever. Yeah. But how do they know that they're not meant to die from that? Because of their
if you're meant to die from that, you're going to go dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So on the other side of that, if you were meant to, and if you adopt Martian ethical conscience philosophy, Kemetic diet, you can change that.
You can change what you're supposed to die from.
You can change your destiny.
Okay, that make a difference in the whole story now. Eh? Come. Alright, hold on. We'll get a call here to go back to the studio. This is the Cutting Edge on IRFM. We're there with you right live from Great Huts. Brian, wake up. Advertisement time. Yes, this is the Cutting Edge on IRFM. We're there in the middle of the morning. I get some deep conversation. I don't want to lose me, you know. But take some matches, stick a hole up your eye. You can't afford to sleep, you know. I talk about some serious thing I saw. You understand? Drink some water, wet up your face with some hot water. Wake up, you understand? Because it's not every day you hear them reasoning up on your radio. And it's very important that we get to the top of this thing here, because we want the people to understand clearly that there is alternative to where we get taught in Jamaica, especially as black people. You understand? We have philosophies and opinions that is totally devoid of where we learn. Because if what we had learned was working, wouldn't be in the position where we are now. So, not no wrong if we do something different. And do something where we are do different now is our things. The something that we were doing that is not working is their thing, because their thing is only to keep them in power. What we're trying to come together now with is how can we view ourselves? Marcus Garvey said, if you have no confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life. But with confidence, you have won, even before you have started. So we have to go back and come forward to recognize ourselves in this time. So, okay, we're upon the level now of metaphysics. That's where we reach. We're Ghana. Physics.
Yes.
All right, so explain now, what is metaphysics?
Well, the metaphysics is the science of the mechanics of developing higher consciousness. And part of that science, the foundation we discussed earlier, is really important. We went back to it in your point just now, of Ma'at philosophy, and being able to change your destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why you can change your destiny is because you are the Supreme Being yourself already. Mm-hmm. The problem is that you have lost that consciousness. You have forgotten. And we can say that it's slavery, or that it's the man, or that's whatever, because many people all around the world have different issues. And they have desires, they have greed, and things, and even they may advocate their own ignorance, because it's self-serving. It keeps them in power or whatnot. But really what we're trying to do is to create a situation that is conducive for becoming aware and discovering the higher nature of that which we are. And we do it through the physical purity, through the mental purity, and the study of the philosophy. Here's where the study of the philosophy comes in. And the practice of the philosophy, living the philosophy, that is what elevates you. That's what purifies you. Purifies your mind, purifies your heart, and so on and so forth. And when you're able to do that, you're able to reach a certain peace that you're able to meditatively expand yourself beyond the physical, and as well as beyond the mental. Because you can reach the level of metaphysical awareness of your astral plane, your astral body, and so on and so forth. We call it the Ka. There, also, you can get lost. And this is where, you might have been talking about also where people say, I saw my dead ancestor, or I can do astral travel, I can fly from here to Europe, or I can see a distant planet. All that is still illusory. Because all that is little compared to the higher consciousness of that which you are, which encompasses all. And this is where we're heading.
Yeah, people in Jamaica were using simple to them, say, why them not like win the lottery, but them don't buy no ticket. We can win the lottery if you try to buy a ticket, maybe you will win in the first place. So people pray to God for win the lottery too.
Yes.
That's weird, that a man pray to God for win the lottery. And you have criminals who pray to God that them don't get caught.
Yes.
You know, so we see how the illusion is not recognized as an illusion. You see, if they had known that it was an illusion, they would go beyond it and decipher it, which is that you're saying now in the myth that leads to the metaphysics.
And that's part of the problem. See, the other side of Ma'at philosophy. Ma'at, it has two wings. One is metaphysical, and one is secular. One is secular that relates to government, it relates to economics, and so on and so forth. And in Kemet, the society lasted for thousands of years because that philosophy led to righteousness and social order, righteousness in the laws between men and women, righteousness for children. And this society is skewed. It has been skewed here in Europe and the United States towards what we call the 1%, towards the very wealthy.
Yeah.
And in that kind of situation, the education system itself is no longer ethical. It leads to belief in that system, belief that they should be in power, and so on and so forth. And that's how it affects the lower planes. But in the higher plane, regardless of whatever may be happening anywhere, you are supposed to strive, and you can overcome.
Mm-hmm.
That's the idea.
All right. So we understand now that we're striving to be one with ourselves, with nature, with what I say?
The transcendental.
We've been transcendental. Okay. So technology coming at that.
Technology?
Because technology must have a part that is either advancing this idea or destroying this idea.
I think it's both, because we have more distraction in society, more television, more iPods and things that people can be wearing all the time. But actually, those same things can be used for us to communicate now. We can communicate easily with people in Africa and Europe, all over the world.
We are communicating with the world.
Through the internet. So it's the same thing. It depends on the use. But what I find, and doing the study for this last book, is that technology, because the wealthy have more capacity to access it, they have, as a what we call corner of the market. They have full access to it, and they have control of everything through it. And it used to be through technology like guns and machines, like big guns and weapons and tanks and so on and so forth. And now it's tasers. Now it's the internet that they can shut down at a moment's notice, or they can go on Facebook and control your moods. This is the big thing that NSA is working on now.
I know they are making bombs from computer, no? To blow up.
I've heard about that. I haven't seen anything concrete, but I've heard about things like that.
Well, what they're doing, they're having three-dimensional printers. Right? So when you get to put together these bombs, you get three-dimensional printers that is everything in three-dimensional. Like get the part three-dimensional continuous and fit them together. And it's a bomb this is, that's real. That is not science fiction out of Hollywood. That's real. So, we can see that now, but also now we just see, we are seeing that we are now using this technology to reach the world, to bring this knowledge to them. So you are saying that it can be used for good and it can be used for bad. Should we then say, if it can be used for good and can be used for bad, maybe we should just use it for bad and use it for just pure good? Then maybe it should be God or the devil or at all.
It really comes down to, from our perspective, the philosophy will say that it's the individual who is doing this, and individuals who are of like mind, who have gathered together, and they're using it for the different purpose. Another way that this goes back quite a while, back into the 60s, that some of this was used for metaphysics, and that biofeedback. I'm sure you've heard of that. That you can hook up certain instruments and testers so you can see when you're reaching a certain level of waves in your mind, and it can point you in the right direction in your meditations and so on and so forth. So that technology has not advanced. It seems like most of the energy has gone into destruction or to commercialism. being able to sell things online or to be doing better surveillance. So in that way, it could be done. It could be a help, but in the end, it has to be you. And the way to do it is to calm the mind, to relieve the distraction. And so the first thing is to understand the mythology that there's something more, and then to strive for that. So the Kemetic philosophy is not like faith-based religion, that you are supposed to have faith in Jesus or faith in Allah or faith in something, and you can act any way you want, and just ask for forgiveness at the end of your life. It doesn't work that way, because your accumulation of your actions will never allow it, as we discussed earlier. You yourself, you can try to fool yourself through life, but at the end, you have to face it. So if we can turn around and revive a community of people of that mind, then we have a chance. But when I say that, the way the destruction of the environment is proceeding along, whether there's a chance, that's iffy at this point.
All right. The school
to save the world, I mean.
Yeah, the school that you have, it seems to be a mobile school. In other words, you are here now teaching. I am assuming that they have somewhere in Florida. You still have that place in Florida?
Right, we have our main offices in Florida.
I think I don't remember. I still remember my Alzheimer's.
Yes, very good, very good.
Well, if the people with Alzheimer's remember things from long time, they don't remember.
Yes.
I remember you told me that there's a place.
Right, and you can go to EgyptianYoga.com. That's we're talking technology. EgyptianYoga.com. That's kind of the nexus or center of information for what we're doing, and for the practice. You can practice meditation online with us.
So you actually have a school that you do these things in Florida?
Yes, the school. It's a virtual school, as well as we do it through seminars and conferences, like this one. Too. Well, it works both ways. We have like right now we're doing a conference on the advanced practice of the serpent not serpent power, the posture system, the Jeff Netru, and we do conferences at the end of the year for the spiritual teaching itself, for the philosophy, and we also do a radio show now we've been doing for a while on the internet as well. So it works both ways.
Yeah,
it's both.
All right. Is there certain postures that reflect a certain, like if you do this posture, it means that you are affecting this part of your brain, or recognizing this part of your brain. It's like when a man reflexology, say different points in your foot connect to certain parts in your body. Is there certain posture that you use in this Kemetic yoga that is saying this is good for asthma, or this is good for slowness, or yes, is there?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. There are the varied postures that we have. Like, for instance, the Sphinx posture we discussed earlier, the Horamaka posture. It affects your higher vision. There's another posture called the Geb, which is known as a plow posture, and this is from the Temple of Heteru, and that affects your spine, affects your thyroid. So, indeed. We have at the level 1 we discuss a lot of the effects on the endocrine system, on the nervous system, the digestive system, circulatory system. So it definitely has effects.
Yep, the Horamaka also affects the pineal. The Horamaka also affects the pineal.
What?
The pineal gland.
What does it affect the pineal gland?
The Horamaka posture, because that's a posture related to the energy center between the third eye. It's related to the third eye.
You can show me. I know it's not a TV, but if you show me you show me. All right, show me the posture then.
On your computer.
Okay, all right. It's like the Sphinx.
That's it.
That's the Sphinx. It's squat like the Sphinx. What that does? No, what that does? No, you can't explain it now. Can you teacher?
I'll tell you.
What? Eh?
He has another full posture, yes.
I'm going to the full one yet. Okay. Okay.
You explain it, or
that is the posture. All right, so you have to explain to me what going on this a while ago. You know. I look like him back in a hurt. Maybe if I say if I bend, don't have to be, you know, and I'm say, oh, you're into the Kemetic yoga thing, you know.
So a component of the header market is the lion or leonine energy, and that relates to the courage aspect of the being.
Okay.
So when you do that, I mean, we're squeezing all the muscles in the face, which creates a natural face lift.
Okay,
so you keep the skin nice and taut, and people like that, you know, they can do that. And the raw is the part that comes like a lion.
Yes,
it brings out that quality that's related to Heru.
So you're associating that Sphinx with the idea of yoga. That's what you're actually doing. You are saying that the squatting of the lion.
It is yoga. I mean, you could say from Rasta point, it's the original conquering lion, which is the self, and moving into that higher self.
No. When I try to find out if the persons who put that Sphinx there was the intention of them putting it there, that thousands of years after you would interpret that the reason why it is there is to do what you just do.
Yes. Okay.
So how we come to that?
So it unites the lower self, the animal forces, like, you know, human beings, we have the animalistic nature, which is like associated with the egoistic nature. And then you have the regal head with the serpent is no longer there. The serpent that Simama was talking about earlier, that it's in the museum in London, but it's supposed to be there. And that is the serpent power energy, or the life force energy. So you are taking the life force energy that is kind of corrupted a little bit by the lower self, which energy has to go someplace. It either goes to bad or good according to your consciousness. So we're sublimating all of that that lower energy of the power of the lion, the leonine energy, and then we're bringing it up through the second, the art second, the life force energy, and then out through the crown of the head, as symbolized by the serpent and the crown of the head. So you're uniting the same symbolism for Sema that we talked about, being Heru and Set, the higher and the lower self. This is the same thing. This is a symbol of the higher self. You have the human head with the serpent on top, and then the animal body. So it's uniting the lower self and the higher self, which is what Sema is, yoga is.
All right. I understand.
Well, let me ask something, because I think maybe it's where you're getting at. Is that how do we know?
Yeah, that's what I try to find out. How do you know that the interpretation that you given to that Sphinx in relationship to what he just do was written on the walls, or is it written on the walls in the pyramids?
It's written in the Pert of Heru.
Okay.
Which is the Pert of Heru, or Raunu Pert of Heru, is a book of enlightenment.
Okay.
And it's otherwise known as Book of the Dead, Book of Coming Forth by Day. If you look at the various chapters, there are several references that say that I am the Sphinx, I am Heru, I am the Anpu. So all of these,
it is written.
Exactly.
Good.
All of these metaphorical references that we've talked about.
Yes.
Because the idea for the audience is, when you say a metaphor, when you say an analogy, you say he ran like a lion. That's an analogy. If you say a metaphor, you say he is a lion.
Yes.
And this is the kind of statement that we're finding. And what Kemet did, the ancient, our forefathers did, is that they placed these metaphors in architecture, in scripture, the way I just mentioned, and these are there are evidences to show that the priests and priestesses practiced these postures, they practiced these movements, and it led to this kind of society that we're talking about, society that was based on righteousness and order, but also a society that had a foundation for those who were ready to achieve higher consciousness. And that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking to rediscover.
In Kemet, we are the pharaohs who believe in underworld where they preserve them body because they think that they would come back again. You believe that they believe that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Right. So if you don't believe that they believe that, the next question is why? What is your reason that you would give why they did that?
Well, first of all, I should say that I'll give you the answer, but first of all, I want to preface that by saying that there are two levels of ancient Egyptian history that we should be concerned on a historical, ethical level. What I mean by that is that in the late period, the Assyrians took over for a time. They conquered Kemet for a time. They were pushed out. Then you have the Persians. They were pushed. They came in and corrupt. A little bit more corruption came in. Then the Greeks finally conquered, and they were not able to be kicked out. And the Romans came in after them. And then you have certain things that were corrupted. And so, but if we're looking at the teaching of Kemet proper, before the corruption, right? The idea of having a mummified body, first of all, it relates us metaphorically to the god Asar, who was also mummified and resurrected. And if you, but later on in history, it became an issue of metaphysically maintaining your image so that you could have a longer existence in the astral plane. Because if you have, think about it, if you have a image, like say, if you die today, or if I die today, and we are cremated, our image, as it exists currently at the time, would be disappeared. And an image that remains that acts as an anchor in time and space. And that means that you can have an astral existence as long as that body is still there. And so, but that became a corruption. The idea of having that as your goal, that was more of a corruption. And then you have, furthermore, another corruption was to have what is called shabtis, kind of slaves or minions that you could bury with you, and then they will do the work for you in the astral plane.
So why did they do that if they didn't believe that? It's not that they didn't believe in it, but we're saying that was a corruption that some people believe, but that's not the higher teaching. You mean the pharaohs you're talking about? Is the pharaohs we're talking about, you know? No, well, we're not talking. We're talking about pharaohs in the late period too, you know. Yeah, all right. Let me get something clear. But we're also talking about the nobles who did this as well, not just the. Correct. Take all them servants, them dog, what them love, the gold. Right, they're dolls for people. They're not real people who were buried. They were dolls. The equivalent of dolls. No. They didn't bury the real slave. No. And they didn't bury the real dog with them because they feel that they need to get back that dog when they raise. No. When they did have mummified animals, symbolic of like Anubis, who is dog, alligators, symbolic of Sebek, the alligator, so on and so forth. Or the crocodile, I should say, not alligator. Alligators from Florida. So this philosophy or this idea is true metaphysically, but it is not the goal, and to follow that is not the goal, and that did not exist in the earlier period. Okay, so you are saying we want to get it clear now, because the reason why I asked this question is because I read your book and you refuted the same thing that you're saying. You refuted, and most people don't see it that way. Most people believe that the reason why they mummify the body is because they feel that they will eventually come back. And the reason why they throw all the things that they love in the pit, in the grave with them, is because they feel that when they come back, they need to get. No, it's not for when they come back, because that was never. That's what I said to you. That was never an idea in Kemet. The idea was always to have an astral existence. Yeah. But for those who really know, they want to go beyond the astral existence, a perpetual astral existence, because even that is illusory. So this is coming from the Christian mindset, then. But
Perhaps
illusion.
Perhaps it's coming from corruptions. From corruptions, that idea.
You say you're going to come back.
Applying that to Kemet is coming from either Christian Egyptologists or some other.
Earth and God going to separate.
Right. That was never. The whole society was dedicated to the idea of immortality until these kinds of corruptions came in.
Yes, this is the Cutting Edge on IRFM. Well, the force is still so long. Okay. We want to remind you that we are at the Great Huts, so we can see that everybody gone to bed. But we're still there. We can't know it's 2 o'clock we're supposed to do now. We will be back in the studio. Little more from this. From 2 to 5:45 on the stepping razor, the art of war. All right, so we want to wrap up now because the producer is telling us the time. What time it is now? What's the time? Eh? Wow, true. Shut up, against the gun long. It's a pity we never know say there, man. It's a pity that we didn't know. I didn't know you was here.
We didn't know you were here too. Last time when we talked to you, it wasn't in Portland. Where was it that we had the interview last time? Ocho Rios?
No, I was. It's Ocho Rios. The radio station is in Ocho Rios. You've been there.
Yeah, I think we had to go there last time. Yeah.
If I knew you was here, I would have invited you to the studio last week. Then we'd have 4 hours to talk.
We would have invited ourselves if we knew you were here.
Of course, you'd have 4 hours to talk. You're always invited, you know. I have to just tell me say he's here or tell me say he's coming.
I can tell that you enjoy our
Yeah, you know why? Because I don't say I read all the book them we have. Because trust me, I never so long I read all the book that we have, right? Because I don't have to say
thank you for being honest. A lot of people say they're real. Read it, but they never do.
No, by the time watch out. I have tapes, I have CDs video, music. I have books, on top of books. And some of them, I just skim through them and I say, okay, all right, yes. I'm just put it back. And then I look at it and I say, no, that man is not easy. That man is spending more life. He look like he never even talk to his wife more than so. Because I sit down and write book anyway, she come justify and say that is the 2 other children them. So I can't say nothing about that. But I have been over the years, as I get a book where I used to sell them, I look through them and I sit and I kind of weigh them with the philosophies. Because most of the questions them is questions where I hear people say in relationship to what I'm called Kemet philosophy. And I know that the philosophy that you espouse is some, because they have an interpretation of the thing. And I am agreeing with you when you talk about the history written on the walls and the preservation of the history. All you have to do is go to Egypt and decipher the walls and look at the architecture and the sculpture, because in most African societies still the sculpture tell a story. It's not just abstract art that you just paint something and that is it. There's something, there's a meaning in it. The people them who do it was telling something. However, people don't understand that. Even in Jamaica, the slave them used to do certain things to tell the other slave that we're ready to burn down the plantation, But him not going to say it. But him have mask, him have different way to plait them ear, different way to wear them shoes, and then the slave see that say, oh, I'm wearing shoes away, time for burn down the master house, and she can't right ear a certain way. So yeah, as we said before, we want to give thanks to the moment, give thanks to the time and the energy. It was wonderful being here, Great Huts. We have come forward in the weekend, you could have deal, we have come forward up there, yes. So, this is a cinema paradise at Great Huts, and it is running from August the 27th to the 31st, right in a Boston Bay, Port Antonio. For those of you who wish to come, it's free, you can just come. We have so much movies that is being shown. We have 3 movies on Saturday, 2 on Friday, 2 today, And you have a series of short ones on Sunday. And all of them, all of them start at 8:30 p.m., yes. The first one start at 8:30 p.m. So all of them start at 8:30 p.m. You have time for drive, come and drive, go. And you can just deal with the ambience. Give thanks. Yeah. You can just deal with the ambience of the place. Wonderful. Great Huts. You want to go get what Ashby and brethren and wife and everyone who come with it. So as I say, Matrix is supposed to be in the house now. We're going to go out as we come in. We're going to play this last song here and go out as we come in. We say, give thanks to the moment, give thanks to the time and the energy. We're gone, you know. Yes.